Yo, what's up, Terrence? What's up, Alex? How you doing, Alex? Archer Blades, Bonds, yeah, no. I'm bounding with Yui right now. She's almost bond. Well, not almost. She's getting there. She's gonna get bond 11 by maybe the end of next month. She's has like 700k left or something. Alice is still like a million away, so not even close. But yeah, I'm playing NA right now. JP's maintenance is gonna end in 15 minutes, but the event itself, the Strange Fake update, presumably, is not gonna start until sometime maybe after 3, maybe 4, because the stream itself that I'm gonna be reacting to, where they're gonna be talking about the news, doesn't start until 2:30 a.m. about 45 minutes from now. So we're probably not gonna get the actual event till, if it's 2:30 right now, or if it's 2:30 then, we're probably not gonna get the actual in-game content till 4, so probably an hour and 30. Otherwise I'm just here to chill, because this is gonna be a big event most likely. At least I hope it is. I mean, it's literally gonna be the Strange Fake collab event, which I've been asking for the longest time, which I didn't expect them to release it while the anime is still, you know, it's not over yet. Season 2 is still in the horizons at some point, and the light novel's not even done either, so it's like, okay, well, what can they release at this point? I don't think they're gonna release anything from the light novel that the anime hasn't gotten to yet, but you never know. What's up, Travis? I saw you comment about like how a new guild isn't possible, by the way, Travis. I don't want to spoil anything, again, light novel stuff, but yeah, we'll see, huh? So how many 5 stars they will release in your opinion? I think there's definitely going to be 2 banners. I think there's going to be 2 separate 5 stars. If we're going by the art that they released earlier, a couple hours ago, and a lot of times the art, this is the art right here that I used for the thumbnail. A lot of times the art that they release kind of hints at what's about to come out. And Enkidu's obviously already in the game. Richard's already in the game. The only one in the art that's not in the Grand Order game, this is official art now, is Hippolyta, the writer in Fate Strange Fake. So I think she's guaranteed. I don't know if she's going to be necessarily a 5 star, but I think she's guaranteed. And if she's coming out, most likely Alcides or Avenger Heracles is going to come out as well. I think those 2 are pretty much set in stone, because they're not going to release Hippolyta or tease her in the art and then not release her. That just doesn't make sense. So she's guaranteed, and if she comes out, Alcides is guaranteed as well, since, you know, her whole quest in this Grial War is to beat his ass, so it would just make sense if one follows the other. Aside from those 2, I don't know who the free servant's gonna be. Part of me wants it to be Flat, but again, there's so much stuff that hasn't been revealed yet in the anime. I don't know if they're gonna go that deep into it, so that's the only reason why I don't think Flat might come out at all. As much as I want Jack the Ripper to come out, if they could at least release Jack, that'd be great. But I think at bare minimum there's gonna be 2 5 stars for sure, 2 separate banners. I think this is a good time to release a new 3-star servant. I think Dumas is perfect. I don't see Dumas being a 4-star or a 5-star for that matter, the caster of Orlando. So release him. Why not a new 3-star that's gonna be hype no matter what? I mean, they don't really release that many low-star servants nowadays, so anytime they do release one, it's always hype in my opinion. Even if he's not the most fan favorite or whatever, he's still cool. I like him, but I don't see him being any higher than a 3-star. So him as a 3-star. As far as 4 stars go, I mean, there's so many other characters. Francesca, right? Francesca and her servant Francois Perlatti. There's Pale Rider, of course. Hassan, or the no-name assassin, the Zealot. I think she's definitely gonna come out for sure. I feel like she's very popular, and she had a lot of screen time in the anime. I dare say, besides like the main characters of like Richard and like, you know, Aika and whatnot, I feel like Assassin had maybe the 3rd or 4th most screen time. So I just see her being a servant that's going to be coming out for this event. Plus all the Hassans have a bonus in this event, and you know, it just would make sense. Although all the Gilgameshes have a bonus in this event. A bunch of other characters have a bonus in this event, so that's not really indicative of anything, to be fair, but still. Aika as a welfare would be interesting. I mean, another Kanahanazawa character would be cool, and it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to release masters as playable servants. I mean, literally, when Fate Requiem was still fresh and, you know, hasn't updated in years already, but back when it first was a thing, and then we got the Fate Requiem event, they literally made Ariste a servant, and if I'm not mistaken, her servant self doesn't really have much to do with her master self, so they can literally do something with Aika, just fuse her with any random heroic spirit if they really want to do that. I know there's, you know, she has her backstory as well, but we're not going to touch that. Again, a lot of spoilers. That's the only thing that's stopping them from going all out with this Strange Fake event, because they run the risk of spoiling so much stuff with not only like Aika, but like Flat, you know, Gilgamesh, so many other stuff as well. Like True Berserker, right? We don't even... Well, I know True Berserker's real name, but like anime viewers don't know that. And the way they're advertising this event is for... is to welcome anime viewers into the game. So I don't think they would spoil stuff from the light novel. In Ishtar is... See, I don't know. I think Ishtar is like easy money. I saw some people theorizing that maybe they could just make her a costume for the Ishtar we already have. And my kind of argument to that is that they're going to lose a lot of money if they decide to do that. Because if they just release her separate, they just release Philia as a whole separate character, I think that's just easy money right there. I mean, she has a great design, already has that Ishtar name attached to her, so like that's just easy money. So making her a costume, I feel like would be a waste on their part. And as a business, that would be a terrible decision. Bare minimum, I've said this for weeks now. I've said this on Twitter. I've said this on the comment section. I said this in chat many times. Bare minimum, me personally, I just want Enkidu animation update. That's all I want. I know some people were saying a Gilgamesh buff, especially for a second buff. I don't see that happening with Gil or Enkidu getting a buff. I would love Gil to get a second buff, don't get me wrong, a second skill buff. But bare minimum, if they give me an Enkidu animation update, I'll be satisfied. Because, and I've said this in the past before, they could release anybody from Strange Fake, I will be completely fine with that. Anybody from Strange Fake, I'm rolling for. If they could release Jester, I will roll. They could release Faldius, I will roll. Orlando, like, these are characters that are probably not going to be servants. But I'm just saying, anybody from Strange Fake, I will probably roll. So, it just is what it is. I've noticed a trend that most servants from anime collab events end up being permanent. Do you think this will be an exception? I mean, I don't know, because Apocrypha Semiramis isn't permanent. Amaxus Shiro isn't permanent. Obviously, the lower star servants like Atalanta, I guess Atalanta Altar by extension are permanent. And Jack the Ripper came out way before an Apocrypha event was even a thing, so I wouldn't count that. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do that. Is it just me, or did Hippolyta have a similar hairstyle as Arturia? That is intentional. And again, I'm not gonna run the risk of spoilers still. Like I said, this is an interesting time to do a Fate Strange Fate collab, because we're in the middle of the anime, or like the middle of the story pretty much with the anime. And the light novel is slated to end, according to the author, this coming summer. So there's only so much they could do for this event. That's why my expectations are, I'm not gonna lie, it's somewhat low. That's why I said bare minimum. I just want an Enkidu animation update. Me personally, I will be happy, because I don't see them going all out with all the stuff that light novel readers know. Yeah, Travis, just go. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so like I don't want to be responsible for that. Sigma as a free servant, I mean, like I said, I'll be no matter, like, welfare is a welfare, right? So I don't really care. So the season 1 anime covers half the story so far. I would say maybe a little bit over half. Like a little bit over half. Like there's still a shit ton of content left, from what I could tell. But we're chugging along. We're getting there. I even saw some people saying that they could release the rest of the story as like 2 or 3 movies, which I don't know how that will work, but hey, if they want to do that, they could do that, you know. A lot of different anime, like Chainsaw Man, for example, Demon Slayer, of course. They're granted very different studios and very, like, a lot bigger studios, arguably, are working on those movies, but A lot of anime seem to be leaning towards that direction where they want to take advantage of like the hype around a theatrical release, the profits. Jack the Ripper, Pretender, Hippolyta hairstyle is the same as Arturia. What if the servants are Tsubaki's parents? You still roll. That is so like out there, but like honestly, I would still roll because that sounds hilarious. I have over 4,000 quartz. I have 4,100. So if I had only like 900 quartz, for example, let's just say, maybe I wouldn't roll. But like because I have so much shit, and this is not me flexing, this is just a fact. Because I have so much sane quartz, I'm willing to roll for like anybody from Strange Fake. It could be the random chick that Tine ran into in the casino before Gil gave her a rah-rah speech, and I would still roll. Like, it could literally be anybody. If Sigma's a servant, I will burn him because I hate. God damn, alright, Jesus. Yeah, the Sigma hate, that's crazy. That's so cringe. That's cringe Lord 9000, to be honest. But yeah. Dumas could be a 2-star in my... I don't think they're gonna release a bronze servant. He could be a bronze servant for sure. I could see Dumas being a bronze, but I don't... Well, maybe they could. They could release him as a bronze servant and then like have EXP CE cards in the friend point summon. I could see them doing that, I guess. I'm busy bonding as much as possible before Annie. Oh yeah, because, you know, freaking Erishgal's coming out, dog. You gotta go all out. Now, by the time anniversary hits, the anniversary quartz are approximately what we're gonna be getting. I don't know the exact number, but it's around 350 to 400 quartz, something around that ballpark. So whatever you have right now, just add like 350 on top of that. That should be how much you'll be having by the time Erishgal comes out. Yeah, welfare, I think Ayaka's actually a decent possibility. I think just the idea of a Kana Hanazawa, another Kana Hanazawa character, plus she has the recognizable face. She's basically the main heroine of Strange Fake. And they could just pull another Utsumiya Reese and just combine her with some kind of heroic spirit, maybe like Richard's wife or something, who was teased in the anime, as well as of course the light novel and whatnot. But they could just do that, make her a pseudo servant with Richard's wife, and then, you know, there you go. That's easy alley-oop right there. Again, the 2 5-stars I am thinking will be LCDs for sure for one of the banners. I think there will be 2 banners, and then Hippolyta maybe. Although I could see Hippolyta being a 4-star. Maybe she's not exactly 5-star status, but again, she's a waifu. I remembered in last week's poll where I, you know, had a list of characters that, you know, might come out for the Strange Fake event. There was a comment by Squall Leonhardt. I don't know if you're watching right now, but he was basically making the argument like Hippolyta barely had enough screen time. I feel like she shouldn't come out as a Strange Fake collab servant. And my argument to that is, this is a gacha game. It's all about the waifus, what's gonna sell. Waifus, and a lot of people seem to be digging her design. Plus, she does have a very similar look to Arturia. So she could qualify as an Arturia face, which is an easy way for Aniplex to get money, because everybody who loves Arturia faces, which is a good chunk of the fan base, is gonna roll for a new Arturia face. Even if she's not on paper supposed to be an Arturia face, because I'm pretty sure the artists themselves have said that they didn't intend for her to look like Arturia, just ended up being like that. So I feel like that's just an easy way for Lozingo to get money. Do you think they will decide their star rating from the animation or the novel? One of the few cases I want the male servants more. That's true. I do want Jack the Ripper more. That is very true. The star rating from the... I actually don't know. That's a good ass question, but I'm not sure. Yeah, just the same haircut. Yeah, it's literally just the same haircut, but that's enough for, you know, Arturia fans to roll. Plus, I mean, a redhead Arturia, come on now. Come on. I'm up for whoever we get from Fate Strange Fake. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. So, 30 minutes until the stream starts, so we can sit here and talk about it and theorize. Now, I have 2, like, out there theories that is probably not true. One of them I've already been very vocal about is a new Gilgamesh. I'm not gonna go that deep into it because, you know, don't want to go there. I'm sure other people have already talked about it freely, but I don't want to ruin Strange Fake for anyone. Just know that I'm thinking if they really want to go there, they could release another Gilgamesh. Plus, I just bought 15 Kid Gil, making all my Gil's Bond 15 maxed out in JP. So I need a new Gil to come out at some point for me to bond with. My other crack theory is instead of another Gilgamesh, there's maybe another Enkidu. And you guys might be like, that's even crazier. But if you have been following Enkidu's Type Moon journey so far, all the way back in Extra CCC, it's explicitly stated that Hakunon, before, in Gilgamesh's route at least, before forming a contract with Gil, previously, in a previous life, or in a previous, I guess, incarnation, Hakunon was contracted with Enkidu. But instead of a Lancer Enkidu, it was Berserker Enkidu. They explicitly say Berserker. And if you have Hakunon in FGO, she actually has a line with Enkidu. And literally calls him Berserker. Or calls Enkidu Berserker. So, they've already stated it way back then. And in current time in FGO, that Berserker Enkidu is a thing. You might be like, okay, that's great and all, but like, that's not necessarily tie in with Fate Strange Fake. Oh, well, this is where I'm gonna get you, because in the Fate Strange Fake novel, Faldius literally says if Enkidu was summoned as a Berserker, they would be at the level of a Divine Spirit. Literally says that in the light novel. And if we want to go deeper into the FGO, I guess, spectrum of things, if you played Enkidu's interlude, there's literally a part at the end of his second interlude, I'm pretty sure, where Mordred makes the joke that Enkidu acts like a Berserker, and then Enkidu kind of says to themselves that if I was a Berserker, I would destroy everyone. That's how powerful Enkidu as a Berserker would be. So not only is Enkidu as a Berserker referenced in Extra CCC like over a decade ago, but is referenced not once, but twice in FGO, as well as in Fate Strange Fake. So an Enkidu, a Berserker Enkidu is very much possible. That's my two crack theories. I think if they want to go crazy, they could release a new Gil, which obviously I'm down for. But if they want to go even crazier, in my opinion, they go with a Berserker Enkidu, which again has been teased for years and years now, both within the game of FGO twice, and in Strange Fake and in Extra CCC. So those are my crack theories. If they want to play it safe, they'll just release Hippolyta and Alcides, and then 4-star Pale Rider or 3-star Dumas, whatever. That's the safe option. But if they want to go crazy, those are my two crack theories. She barely appeared argument is invalidated by the fact that we have Fate Requiem servants in the game. Well, the light novels and light. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, I want to see Berserker Enkidu too, man. And the thing is, Berserker Enkidu's design, I want to say it's in the manga, but it might be like in a little page in the light novel. But I'm pretty sure it's the manga. You actually see Enkidu's Berserker design for a split second in the manga, and they look completely different. So if it's like a giant blob monster. It's crazy looking on some Shingeki no Kyojin type shit. So they could go crazy with that. I think because if they do that, it would be pretty hype because we don't have a new Enkidu at all. At least it would be hype for me. That, and you're not really spoiling anything from Strange Fake, because if they release, for example, Flat, there's huge spoiler implications with releasing Flat as a servant. Same thing with like a new guild. There's a lot of spoilers that is tied to that if they decide to go that route in which I'm thinking. Whereas a new Enkidu, like, okay, it's a new Enkidu, it doesn't really spoil anything in the light novel. It's still a character that's very much tied to the Fate Strange Fake story and lore. So I don't know. I think if they want to go crazy, they could do that, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm leaning towards they're probably gonna play it safe. I don't think they're gonna go too crazy. I want them to go crazy. I want them to go absolutely wild with this event. But if they want guaranteed money, Hippolyta 5-star with a similar look as Arturia, easy money. People have been asking for Alcides for a long time. And if they release just normal Archer Heracles, dare I say, Avenger Alcides will be kind of hype. But I think more people, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think more people would like to see just a straight up Archer Heracles. I think more people want to see that more. Especially since if we go by the anime, Archer Heracles only had like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute at most of screen time. But people were really hyped to see his design, you know, with the lightning bolts, like pulsating throughout his body. He looked badass. And Alcides looks cool too, but like Archer Heracles looked sick. And if they play their cards right, I think they could make a lot of money with him. Again, Jack the Ripper would be great. Love to see Jack the Ripper. We don't need more Avengers, to be fair. I mean, that hasn't stopped them before. Like, having a lot of a certain class is not going to stop them. On MC Soul, we're all getting that Prelati today. Yeah, Francesca is a decent chance. Actually, speaking of Enkidu's interlude, and I don't think it's been revealed, but in both of Enkidu's interlude, there is somebody in the behind the scenes that's sort of manipulating what happens in Enkidu's interlude. I'm not going to spoil like the exact things that happen in Enkidu's interlude. Just know that there's somebody in the back that's collaborating with Moriarty, and I want to say Mephistopheles as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they basically do evil shit in the background, and we don't see their face, and we never see who it is. It's just like a hooded figure. It's never revealed who it is. And I think there's like a theory that Francesca has already infiltrated Kalia and has been manipulating some things behind the scenes. I don't know if they're gonna go that deep into it, if they're gonna relate it to Enkidu's interlude and like tie it in with the event story or whatever. But that would be pretty cool, because I'm pretty sure it's never been revealed who is the culprit behind Enkidu's interludes. If you've read Enkidu's, especially the second interlude, then you know what I'm talking about. Moriarty is literally talking to a hooded figure about trying to bring out Enkidu's full potential. And then we don't know who that is. So it just makes sense, because Francesca, especially from what we've seen in Fate Strange Fake, is a huge schemer. Like, they're just behind the scenes, just enjoying chaos happening. That's pretty much their entire, you know, character. So it would make sense for Francesca or Francois or whichever Perlati, if they decide to fuse them into one servant, to already be in Caldia and just kind of messing with us. So I think that would be cool. I think that'd be a little cool tie-in. Enkidu without Shamhat body, but basically, yeah, basically. Do you think we will get the update today? I think so, because I think the maintenance just ended, actually. But the event isn't out yet. Let me go ahead and like migrate over to JP so I could show the quartz and tickets I have. By the way, when was the last time they released interludes? I'll be honest, I haven't really been like keeping up with that. I feel like it was fairly recently, but not like a full like batch, like usually what they do, like a batch of interludes. But I feel like they released one somewhat recently, at least for 1 or 2 characters. But like as far as like a full batch of them, like they haven't done. I feel like they haven't done that in a while. Could Enkidu kill Gil at his full potential? Would he lose his reason as a berserker? Yes. So obviously we don't know for sure, but based on Enkidu's interlude and his own words, they literally said, if I was a berserker and I lost my control of my own sanity, I would literally destroy everyone. That's what they said. And obviously Enkidu as a lancer is already pretty even with Gil. So we can only assume if they had that limiter of their personality and of their self-control removed, then we can make the assumption that Enkidu as a full-on beast, like not beast class, but like as a full-on just mindless monster, would probably be stronger than Gil, most likely. Although I don't know that for sure, but I would make that assumption because Enkidu as a lancer is essentially limiting themselves, essentially. I have little hope for Hippolyta to be released as a servant, but still fingers crossed. Again, they literally released this art that I used in the thumbnail a couple hours ago when maintenance started, and Hippolyta is right there. So if they just have Hippolyta there for like just for her looks and not because she's actually gonna be released, that's gonna be kind of weird. Although I did say on a Twitter post, I think she's a red herring. I think there's more that meets the eye with the event. I think there's gonna be another 5-star if she even is the 5-star to begin with. She could be the 4-star. She could be the welfare. Are you buying quartz in JP? I don't think I'll need to, bro. I got like 4,100. If you're asking if I did buy quartz, this is all free quartz, fam. This is all quartz from bonding. 4,100 quartz. Right now I'm currently trying to bond with Snake Mommy. She's already halfway to bond 11. As you can see, I think CL is on her way as well. CL is halfway to bond 13. Paul Bunyan, she's kind of chugging along, you know, she just got to bond 13 not too long ago. And then Riley, I was using her for the Archer Grandel, and she's chugging along as well. So that's about what, 120 quartz right there that I should be getting within the next month. And then of course my Archer Summer Tiamat's already maxed out, but I still use her because she's amazing. Best support servant in the game. Fight me about it. It's a chat on MC stream not moving. I hope it's moving. If it's not, then let me try to fix that. Yeah, I don't think it's moving actually. Is it moving now? I don't know how to retest that. I guess people should just spam 1 if you're rolling for Hippolytus, spam 2 if you're not. I don't know. How do you even buy sync quartz on JP? For Android users, I can't speak for Apple users, you know. For the Android peeps out there, if you just make a JP Google Play Store account, then and set it up. Once you set it up, it's kind of a bitch to set up, not gonna lie. But once you set it up, you could buy whatever you want. When will this stream start, by the way? In about 19 minutes. 19 minutes. Yeah, if you're an Apple user, I think the process is similar. You gotta make like an Apple ID in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's fairly similar. But, you know, with the way Apple runs things, it's going to be a lot more of a bitch, I feel like. And I don't know. I don't know that for sure. Is that servant the Snake Mommy JP got recently? Yeah, back in January? Or was it February? It was one of the two bitches. But, yeah, no, she's amazing. I use her in Summer Tiamat together because the synergy is actually quite good. As far as support servants go. I guess while we're waiting, we might as well run a couple of Bleached Earth quests. I could do the grand duels because they do give exponentially a lot more bond, but because I'm limited to one class in the grand duels, I kind of just want to do these just so I could spread out the bond to different servants. So this is the usual team I bring to this quest. It's a 90 star quest, right? Yeah, 90 star, so it gives the most bond out of all the Bleached Earth quests. Not more than the grand duels, but still, you know, I just want to have a variety of different classes to bond with. That's why I go here. What time is it where you live? It's about 2:12 a.m. So 18 minutes from now is when the live stream is going to start. Again, if you guys want to check it out, I think I'll put the link in the description. But link is in the description if you want to check out the live stream. Of course, I'm going to be reacting to it as per usual. And it's going to be lit nasty with the sauce. You feel me? Sigma should be the welfare wanderer, making him a true. That's true, actually. Yeah, with his servant, I think he has a decent chance of being the welfare. With the watcher servant, I think that would be interesting. Would NP2CL be ideal? So as somebody who has their NP2, and I quite literally use her every day with this quest, she performs pretty well as just an NP2. Because honestly, you don't really use her NP for most of her damage. You mostly use her normal command cards. So even though I haven't done it, as long as you slap some good command cards on her, as long as you max out her stats with foes, maybe golden foes, then she's gonna hit hard like a truck. I'm gonna use her NP right now, and it's, unless the insta kill procs, she's most likely not gonna kill the enemy. But like I said, most of the time you're gonna be relying on her normal command cards to do damage anyway. So I would even say NP1 is enough, but NP2, like I said, with any servant, NP2 bare minimum with any offensive servant is ideal if you're gonna be using them extensively, like I am with CL. Got a guild question that's been bugging me, and who better to ask? What question do you got, dog? Hit me with it. If you got a question about Gil, like, I'm not gonna guarantee I'm gonna be able to answer, but if you got a question, bro, like, hey, go ahead. Who is the best moon cancer right now? I think because this, I mean, they all do something different. I think overall, I would actually say CL. I think CL might, maybe. Wait, Hakunon is pretty good. But if we're just talking 5 stars, if we're just talking strictly 5 stars, I would say CL. Some people might say BB Dubai. But I think my money would be on CL. I think CL's cracked. So, that's my final answer. So look at that crit damage. This is why Tiamat is goated. So look at this. Now granted, it's skewed because as you can see, they have a debuff. This debuff, I believe, makes it so Moon Cancers deal more damage on the enemy. So that's good for us. But look how much HP this enemy has. Almost 3 million HP. This is what CL could do for you, okay? So CL, you might be like, oh, you're gonna use her NP. Fuck no, I'm not gonna use her NP. I'm gonna rely straight on her cards. So her third skill shuffles all the cards, so it's just her cards. And she's double Tiamat buffed, full combo, guaranteed to kill. Again, almost 3 million HP. And this is why CL is amazing, and this is why, of course, Tiamat by extension is amazing. Look how much damage I just did. No Oberon, no NP, just straight damage. Now again, take that with a grain of salt. The enemy does have a debuff on themselves that make Moon Cancer stronger. But still, like, that's crazy damage. That's insane. That's why Tiamat, amazing. CL, amazing. Put the two together, forget about it. Forget about it. Even without the Moon Cancer extra damage, I feel like CL would still, like, at the very least, put the enemy down to below 1 million, which is already good enough for most farming quests out there. So if you're hesitant about rolling for CL, I would say she's worth it purely from that third skill alone. That third skill, even if you don't want to use her, you could literally use a third skill, shuffle the cards to just her, then like plug Suitor out for like Arjuna Altar or Super Orion or somebody else that might benefit from having a full combo right off the bat. Otherwise, if you just want to use her to slap, then you're going to be in good place too. And I've already said this a million times, so forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but if you're hesitant for some reason to roll for Summer Tiamat, then you're doing your entire account and every single servant you have a disservice if you don't roll for her. Deadass. If you're not gonna be rolling for Summer Tiamat, then I don't know what to tell you. You're basically saying I don't want to get another Oberon, or you're basically saying I don't want another Castoria. She's on that level of good as being a support servant. I've been slacking in FGO. I got way too focused on different gacha games. It's okay, Generic. I mean, your name is literally Generic FGO, so I feel like, you know, you need to live up to that name, but that's besides the point. It doesn't matter if the light novel showed it yet. They can spoil it in FGO like they did with Richard. If you're talking about Richard's third ascension, that's not necessarily true because the writer literally said that Richard's third ascension it's exclusive to FGO and isn't gonna make an appearance in the light novel or the anime for that matter. If you're talking about Richard's true name, everyone already knew Richard's true name, so spoiling that isn't really like, you know, oh, his true name's Richard. Okay, like that's not really that surprising. Does Summer Shiki still get disadvantage from her death ability? I actually don't know on the top of my head. I don't have her in this account, so I can't really tell you. Gonna be real. Yeah, Jack would be cool. So again, almost 3 million HP. Use CL's third skill to shuffle the cards to just her cards. And I don't even gotta use NP. In fact, it's probably better I don't use NP. She could be NP1 and she's still gonna kill, because she's just using her normal cards. Look at that. Amazing. Of course, this is also a huge testament to Summer Tiamat as well. Oh, as far as looping, I actually don't think so. I think the insta-death doesn't happen until after damage. Because isn't the thing with her is that her insta-death procs before damage, therefore it doesn't really add to the NP gain, I think. Now, if you're asking if Summer Shiki could loop, just as a general question, she could loop. And she could loop even better if you have Summer Tiamat. You know, I'm just advertising Summer Tiamat for all you guys. Because Summer Tiamat could make Shuten loop. Or that's probably not the best word to use. She could make Shuten 3-turn farm. There's a difference between 3-turn farming and looping. Because looping implies that you're NP looping. Whereas farming just implies that you're going to be able to 3-turn farm. Because a lot of times with Tiamat teams, you're going to be using your normal command cards. You're not even going to be using your NP to clear wave 2 and wave 3 a lot of the times. You have the option of using your NP, but most of your damage is going to come from your crits. Which, depending on your playstyle, you may not like that, especially since you have to use Summer Tiamat, both Summer Tiamat's NP, which does take a little bit more time than the traditional, you know, NP looping teams. But if you don't care about that and you just want to use your Shuten to farm, you just want to use your Shiki to farm, both Shikis. It doesn't matter if it's Saber Shiki or Mooncaster Shiki or your sister Shiki. It doesn't matter what Shiki it is. If you have Summer Tiamat, Tiamat's gonna allow them to loop, or not allow them to loop, allow them to farm. Again, there's a slight difference. Does a Summer Tiamat need higher NP levels? So one of the weaknesses that I talked about with Summer Tiamat is you have to use her NP. The other weakness, quote unquote weakness, is you kind of have to, in order to make her exceed, not get on the same level, but exceed Castoria and exceed Summer Scotty, or like Scotty in general, in terms of NP refund and just like overall damage, you have to get her at a high NP level. I think if you get her at least NP2, she's around the same level as Castoria and Scotty as far as like arts and quick buffs, because she does both. But if you exceed NP2 to NP3, and then of course if you want to go all the way to NP5, she is just gonna absolutely destroy Castoria and Scotty in terms of just pure damage. Someone could do the math and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you decide to just max her out, if you go that route, on paper, in just purely in terms of just damage, raw damage, she's gonna let your offensive servant hit harder than both Castoria and Scotty can do pretty much 10 times out of 10. So she is one of the only support servants in the entire game to where you kind of want to get her at a high NP level, because with Oberon, you just need one copy. You're just going to mainly use the skills. With Koyanskaya, yeah, you could use her for looping, but most people are just going to use her for the skills. Same thing with Castoria. Same thing with Scotty. Same thing with Waver. Same thing with Tamamo. Same thing with pretty much every other support servant in the game. The only exception, or one of the few exceptions to that, is of course Summer Tiamat, where if you get her at a high NP level, then she is going to exceed Castoria and Scotty in terms of just pure damage. If only I was good at saving as MC. It's not even about saving, it's just about playing the game. Just play your Bleached Earth quests, take advantage of the bond bonuses from every event, and you too could have over 4,000 quartz. Like, it was like, what, 2 weeks ago when I had 3,900? Within 2 weeks, granted with like login bonuses and, you know, with the campaign of the download campaign as well as the Strange Fake celebration, I did get some quartz out of those. But within 2 to 3 weeks, I got 200 plus quartz, mostly from bonding. So just literally just play the game, log in, do your Bleached Earth quests every day, because you get pods. You get 3 pods every day. Use those 3 pods. It takes maybe 10 minutes at most. If you already have an established team and you for your quest of choice, then you're going to be able to farm easily. And just get used to that habit, and that as you're going to have thousands of quartz, no problem. NA bond farming is so slow though. That's why you got to get into the habit of it right now. It's never going to be like super fast until the Grand Duels. The Grand Duels is where you're going to get like 20k, sometimes 30k plus bond per run, which is amazing, but we're not there yet in NA. So right now in NA, just focus on Bleached Earth quests. Do the one with it's in the middle of the ocean, I forget which one. The one with Euriley. It's in Olympus, basically. That one I believe gives the most bond right now in NA. And in that quest, the first wave is literally just one enemy with like 500k HP. It's a Lancer. The second wave is the last wave, and it's just Euriley by herself. Or it was Steno. It's Steno by herself, not even Euriley. It's Steno by herself with 1 million HP. It sounds like a lot, but if you just bring a strong enough single target, like a berserker, to destroy that first wave, then you could go ahead and destroy the second wave easily, and then you're gonna get maybe like 5,000 or so bond. Easy money. But yeah, I usually do the one with QP. Yeah, you could kill two birds with one stone. If you're low in QP, you could do the QP quest, and you might be like, oh man, that quest takes forever though. The trick with that QP quest with the coins is you got to bring a servant with insta death as a gimmick. If you bring, because those enemies have a very high chance of getting insta killed. I don't know if they tell you that if you look at the enemy, but like it's literally programmed to where if you bring Nidacris or Ashiadomon or Nidacris Alter for that matter, anybody with some kind of insta death with their NP, they're probably gonna kill. Like the chances of failing insta death is like very, very low. Like you're most likely gonna insta kill, and even if you don't, like whatever, like you're not gonna lose. Yeah, Summer Kiara as well. If you want to go single target, King Hassan. Obviously Nidacris 4-star is probably the most efficient one, just because she's a 4-star. She can get to NP right away. Same thing with Nidacris Avenger. But literally anybody that could insta kill, like, is pretty damn good with that quest. So if you want to do that route where you could farm QP and bond at the same time, kill two birds with one stone, why not? And there you go. How would you farm with Alco? Alco with double Tiamat. See, the thing with Alco, she's so difficult to sort of play around with, because the first time you use her NP, she's not going to do anything. She just transforms. So she's one of the few servants who, she does synergize with Summer Tiamat, but not in the same way as other servants do. I wish one of the sacrifice AoE servants had an instant death on one turn. That would be crazy. I don't even know if that's been introduced yet in JP. That'd be cool though. If they implement something like that, like an Arash that not only kills themselves but also has a high chance of instant death. That'd be cool. What do you think Hippolyta's NP will be if we get her? She didn't use it in the anime. I feel like she would be, I want to say she'll be single target, because if we're gonna go by lore, her whole thing is that she wants to beat Alcides' ass or Heracles' ass. So I can see her being a single target rider that specializes against either Greek servants, or if they want a more general, I guess, niche, maybe extra damage against divine servants or divine enemies in general. I know that sounds basic, but I wouldn't mind if they go like that, the lore route. I could see her being AoE too, so I really don't know. Are we getting another Amazon servant? Yeah, I think so. I think so. And then correct me if I'm wrong, she's the sister of Penthesilea, right? I think she is. Again, they spoiled her, or like teased her in the art that they released a couple hours ago on social media. This is the art right here that I use on the thumbnail. As you can see, it has Richard, Enkidu, and Hippolyta. So I feel like that's kind of indicative of what's gonna come out. I think the likelihood is fairly low, Shinigami, because that hasn't been seen yet. I want Flat in the collab. Hope he is the welfare. I doubt it. I doubt it too, because there's so much with his character that hasn't been revealed yet. And if they make him a servant, they kind of either have to spoil what exactly is going on with Flat, or they would just, you know, brush it under the rug and just like do something completely original for FGO for him and not even talk about that part. I don't know, but yeah, Omar skin, I have no idea. I feel like that would be cool, but I don't know if they haven't even revealed that name yet in the anime. Again, it's a very weird time to do a Strange Fate collab, because we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes, arguably, of the story. But we're doing a collab right now in FGO before we even got to that part in the anime. So either they're gonna play it safe and just release stuff that we already know from the anime, or if they want to spoil everything, hey, I'm sorry, anime only viewers, y'all about to get spoiled. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, flat would be insane spoilers. Insane spoilers. Yeah, we haven't even got a season 2. Not even an announcement. We just know it's gonna happen. Not even like an official, like it's gonna happen 2027 or whatever. By the way, it's 2:30 right now, so I believe the stream is about to start. So if you guys wanna check it out, look, they're even showing the art that I just showed you guys with Hippolyta, Richard, and Enkidu. So I feel like Hippolyta is for sure gonna go. Because why would they put Hippolyta there and then she doesn't even come out? That wouldn't make sense. Unless they put her on a CE, which I think would be a huge disservice for Hippolyta fans. As far as CEs go, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think Jester and Hansa fighting probably a 3-star CE, maybe a 4-star CE. Hansa's Quartet, maybe a 3-star CE, maybe even a 4-star CE. And I think if Ayaka's not going to be a servant, they're probably going to make her the 5-star Craft Essence. Maybe Ayaka along with Tine and the Wolf, maybe those 3 in one CE, just straight chilling. Definitely Tine and like the Wolf are probably not going to be servants. I think if any master is going to be servant, it's either going to be Ayaka or Sigma. Flat if they, you know, want to spoil shit, but like, yeah. Also, Aris also needs more content too. She's stuck in 2 volumes. Yeah, no, it would be like that. Requiem is just, it's just in the dumpster right now. I don't know what to tell you. Make flat like Jason, but instead of the Argonauts, it's the clock tower. I feel like that would work better for if they did like a El Malloy animation update again. I know he's already had an animation update in the past, but I feel like that would work better with Waver than it would with Flat. Because it's not like Flat relies on the other clock tower mages and his classmates to fight. Like he's more than capable. Not saying that Waver is, but if anyone's gonna have those animations, it would be the teacher, the sensei, the professor, so to speak, of those characters. I don't think it would fit Flat's character. In my humble opinion. It's a cool idea though. I just don't think it would be for Flat. Okay, they're just advertising more merch. Nah, dude. They'll probably do a second crossover when the show ends. Maybe not like a full-blown event. Because have they... I don't think they've done that. I think the closest they've done with like another event pertaining to another Fate series. I guess technically they've done that multiple times with Extra. Because they had the Extra CCC event, and then Ordeal Call 3 is technically, in a way, another Extra CCC event. But the only other time I can think of is with Prisma Ilia, when they did the second Prisma Ilia rerun. That's when they released Miyu. So, in a way, I guess they could do another Strange Fake event. It's the same event, but they would release maybe an extra chapter with that character and then a new banner with said character, if they want to go that route. I don't see them releasing like a sequel Fate Strange Fake event. In my opinion, I don't think so. But who knows? Yeah, if they do a part 2, they would have to like go balls deep with like everything. The stream already started. Again, link is in the description if you want to watch the Kalia broadcasting station with the Strange Fake stuff. But as per usual, they just like to advertise the current merch and future events that's going to be happening, future collab events, and they're doing an event with some kind of hot spring spa or something, which is cool, but I don't live in Japan, so it'd be like that. Actually, fun fact, my parents just went to Japan a week and a half ago. They're currently in Korea right now. They went to Korea from Japan like 2 days ago, but they were in Japan for a good week. And I envy them. I envy them a lot because I wish I could have went. But I had work and I didn't really plan a trip with them, so it'd be like that. Yeah, without me, I know, dog, I know. But I feel like if I were to make a trip to Japan, I would like it to be just with me and like my girlfriend and maybe like my brother and like a couple of other people my age. Like, no offense to my parents, but I'm pretty sure my parents are doing like a tourist kind of trip, so it's very limiting. Whereas if I were to go to Japan, I would like to be able to free roam and go wherever I want rather than like stay a certain course, if that makes sense. So In a way, I'm kind of happy that they went to Japan and are enjoying it their own way, because that gives me the opportunity in the future to enjoy Japan at my own pace without, like, you know, some kind of tour guide or, you know, a checkpoint kind of trip. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather just go wherever I want at my own pace type thing. Heading to Japan in July. Fate merch is on the cards. Ooh, okay, in July. Damn, if you decided to go in August, you could have maybe made it to FGO Fest or FGO Expo. I actually don't know what they would call it this year, but yeah, FGO 11th anniversary, the convention over there. That would have been cool. But yeah, going there in July is definitely a vibe, because they're gonna be building up into 11th anniversary, so there might be some campaigns and stuff here and there. So I hope you have a good time. K-Dog. Likely not, they releasing Strange Fake for Boost Gacha and merchandise. I mean the anime. Would Aika be in the new CE like Proto Aika? I think so. If they're not gonna release her as a servant, I could just see her being the 5-star CE. Either in the gacha or like the free one that we get in the event. Look, they're showing my boy Gil. They're showing my boy Gil and Enkidu. So when they did the banners for Gil and Enkidu last week, I know some people were asking for a buff for Gil finally, like a second skill buff. And for some reason, and no offense if this is your line of thinking as well, a lot of people want him to get like a buster buff where they add like a buster buff to a second skill or something, which obviously would help with damage. But my thing is, that's not really something he needs. He already does a lot of damage already. 9 times out of 10, especially if you're fighting a servant, they're most likely going to be weak to new Malish. He's going to do big damage anyway. Like, does he really need another buff that's just going to increase his damage more? In my opinion, I would like it better if he had some form of protection, some other utility type skill, rather than like, oh, he gets a buster up. That's cool, but like, he still can't protect himself. He still can't heal. He still doesn't have any other... He doesn't have Pierce. I would prefer Pierce over Buster any day of the week. Because as somebody with like the Gate of Babylon, with Enuma Elish, one of the strongest NPs in the entire series, like at the very least, I would like him to have a built-in Pierce invincibility skill. That way I could just slap him with Black Grail and like I don't have to worry about like, oh man, this enemy has invincibility, or evade. Now I'm kind of fucked. Like, I'd rather anti-enforcement for defense for Enuma Elish. So that's why I honestly think he should just have normal Pierce invincibility, just because lore-wise, Avalon protects against Enuma Elish, therefore anti-enforcement. Enuma Elish shouldn't be able to pierce anti-enforcement. I think that should be the one thing that Enuma Elish still can't pierce against, just because from a lore standpoint, that's why Avalon is so effective against Gil, and that's why, to an extent, I believe Enkidu falls under that category of anti-enforcement. So that's why Enkidu is able to counter Enuma Elish as well. So see how nerdy I am and how much I thought about this already. I'm like, yeah, no, that would be cool, but like lore-wise, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah, Enkidu animation update. I want that more than a buff. Like, people want Enkidu to get another buff, especially with their first skill. I understand the first skill is kind of dog water, like, oh, 1 turn buff that for all 3 cards, but it's only a chance with the other cards. It's guaranteed with Buster, but it only lasts for 1 turn and has like a 6 turn or so cooldown. Like, that is dog water for sure. I wish it would last for 3 turns, and I wish like they're guaranteed to get all 3 cards buffed. I understand that point, but at the same time, as somebody who beat the shit out of Ort with Enkidu, as somebody who beat the shit out of the final boss with Enkidu, as somebody who used Enkidu extensively against many different challenges and many different bosses, Enkidu does not need a buff. Enkidu is already amazing. They can protect themselves. They have a battery. Their damage is dummy busted with the sauce. One of the strongest single targets in the entire game, period. Like, Enkidu does not need a buff, but Enkidu needs an animation update. So if they want to give Enkidu a buff, whatever. But if I were to pick one, either a buff or an animation update, I'm going animation update 100%. If anyone's gonna get a buff, I guess Gil's second skill, like I said, give him invincibility and Pierce invincibility, and I'll be straight. A buster up, I don't really care for because he already does dummy damage. He doesn't need that. Enkidu already deals 10 million when full grailed on last raid endgame. That's what I'm saying. Enkidu's already powerful. Like we don't need all these steroids and other stuff to fluff up their damage, because Enkidu's damage is already amazing and they already have really good utility. So give them an animation update, I'll be happy. And then Gil, give him Pierce Invincible plus his own invincibility and a form of protection as well as a way to pierce through protection. There you go. In fact, put Ignore Defense on top of that. Enuma Elish should be able to pierce everything, whether it be evade, invincibility, or a shit ton of defense ups. Enuma Elish should be able to pierce through everything but anti-enforcement, because that just makes sense lore-wise. That's just me though. That Gilgamesh costume, oh my god. That is so long overdue. Gilgamesh, the King of Heroes, the first limited servant in the game of FGO, in its almost 11-year lifespan. Gilgamesh. First limited 5-star. One of the first servants in general. One of the most iconic characters in the series, period. In the entire Nasuverse. Doesn't have a singular costume. And before you say, well, he has Kid Gil and Caster Gil has a costume. Great. That's all well and good. But we need Archer Gil to get a costume. The fact he doesn't have his UBW costume is a crime. So if they were going to give him a costume for Strange Fate, give him his red suit. Give him that dapper red suit. And I'll be happy too. Give him that and give Enkidu an animation update. Fuck the buffs at that point. Just fuck the buffs. That's what I would want. Because like I said, multiple times throughout the stream, multiple times throughout the months and weeks leading up to this event. Anybody that they release for the gacha of this Fate Strange Fate collab event, I don't really care. I will be rolling for them anyway. I have over 4,000 quartz. I have nothing to worry about. What I care about is what else they do. Will they buff Richard, for example? I think Richard needs a buff. Will they buff Gilgamesh if they decide to do that? Second skill, Pierce Invincible, Ignore Defense, and or his own invincibility, and I'm good. A costume for Archer Gil. If there's any time to do that, it would be for this event. Enkidu animation update. Again, if there was any time to do an Enkidu animation update, it would be right now. Like the fuck. Enkidu desperately needs it. Especially when like we see the way Enkidu fights in Strange Fate. And technically we saw the way Enkidu fought all the way back in Babylonia with Kingu. Why not give the man an animation update? Why not give the Klee boy a new fresh coat of paint? And then make them look as good, if not better, than the King of Heroes. But Gil was overhyped. Maybe he's an old servant. Even Gil got eaten by some. Okay, why? Okay, he died. Okay, so what? He died. Take your favorite servant. I don't know who your favorite servant is. And I could almost assume 9 times out of 10 your favorite servant has less appearances than Gil. Gil has made more appearances than most other characters. Including OG Arturia. Now, technically, Arturia kind of cheats because there's a lot of Arturia faces and a lot of different Arturia versions. But if we're just looking at pure vanilla Saber, Gilgamesh has more appearances. Of course, by numbers alone, by statistics alone, because he has more appearances, he's going to have more losses than the average servant. Your favorite servant could be Karna. Guess what? He's only had 2 memorable, well, technically 3 memorable appearances. FGO, Extra, and well, I guess the extra verse with Extella and Apocrypha. That's it. Like 3 is good. Gil's had like 10 plus. So Gil just has more appearances than. Take your favorite servant. I don't care if it's Morgan. Morgan had 1 memorable appearance, Lostbelt 6 in FGO. You're never gonna see her again. At least Lostbelt Morgan. I know Morgan has appeared in the OG, Fate, as well as Apocrypha, but that's not Lostbelt Morgan, the one that you all love and shit. Gil's just that guy. Of course, he's on paper, he's gonna have more losses, but that's because he's made more appearances. But if you really like look at the statistics, he actually has a lot more wins than you might think. It's just like people only think about his losses. But he also has more appearances than the average character. So that's kind of cheating. That's kind of cheating, dog. Yeah, Morgan. Yeah, no, I'm not saying Morgan is like not popular. I'm just saying Gil's just that guy. Gil's gonna have more appearances. Has already had more appearances than the average servant, and is gonna continue probably gonna have more appearances than any other character. Dog, my favorite servant is Medusa. Gil has more appearances outside of Fate than my wife and all Fate media. To be fair, Medusa like has had multiple different versions. Gorgon, Anna, technically Medusa Alter, Medusa Saber. So they make good use of Medusa, but no one's touching Gil in terms of just sheer amount of appearances in his base form. He doesn't even need to change much about him to appear multiple times because he's that complete character. He's the LeBron James of the Nasiverse. Yeah, exactly. Like on paper, LeBron probably has a lot of losses, right? But he's still talked about as one of the GOATs. Like, we're really gonna compare Gilgamesh to insert character here, just because he has more losses, but he's also had way more overall appearances than most other characters. So of course, by numbers alone, he's gonna have more losses because he's had more appearances. It's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah, the stream has started. I believe that's the voice actor of Achilles. I think they have Achilles as voice actor in here, or at least one of the two. I actually don't know. I know Ayako Kawasumi, the voice of course, Saber, Lord Logress, Foe, etc., is the one in the middle. Also, Gil's losses are against strong characters. Either strong characters, like very powerful characters, or very, very specific circumstances that lead to his losses. That leads to his loses. Otherwise, he's goated. Gil ruler when? I don't know when, bro. I'd love that. Yo, got Gil while watching the stream was... Oh, damn. Congratulations. By the way, yeah, Gil is up. And if you haven't liked the stream already, hit that like button because you're guaranteed to get a 5-star servant in your next roll. Actually, I might as well do my data download, right? Might as well. Hi, Summer Team. How are you doing? Might as well do my data... The downloads of the datas. Might as well, right? Just a little bit. You big chill. Actually, I don't know if I should be in my room right now because the song is straight up from the anime. I might get copyrighted for that. But nice. Congratulations, Erd. Can't wait to reunite Hakunon and Gil on NA. Yes. I second that. Hakunon is coming out in about 4 months? 3 to 4 months? So it's gonna be legit. Does collabs count? Then it's probably Saber with most appearances. See, the thing with Saber is if you count every single version of Arturia, like Arturia Lancer, Arturia Alter, all the different types of Arturia, then I think Arturia does have more appearances than Gil. But if we're just talking about Arturia Vanilla, just vanilla normal blue Saber versus Gilgamesh, just Gilgamesh, as he is the arrogant king, I want to say Gil has more appearances, like more meaningful appearances. I should say that because technically in Apocrypha, Saber does appear there, but in like flashbacks with Mordred's memories. But in my opinion, that's a small cameo. That's not really like a meaningful actual appearance, in my opinion. Now you could say, oh, that's a cop out. Oh, now you're just skewing the statistics. But if you don't have like dialogue in an actual like role in the plot, in my opinion, that's just a cameo and that shouldn't count. And if we just look at Gilgamesh, purely his appearances and like actual role in the stories, and then Arturia and just vanilla, I think Gil just destroys her. I think. But I'm sure if somebody does the math, it might be close because Arturia and then there's the face that runs the place. So of course she's gonna be up there as well. But you know, Gil's the king of heroes, so it'd be like that. Because even the other versions of Gil, like if we look at Ruler Gil, there's not really much of a difference, if any difference at all, besides like the actual clothes he wears, like the actual appearance, like the literal appearance of Gil. There's no difference between Archer Gil and Ruler Gil, for example. Whereas if you take normal Saber and then compare normal Saber to Arturia Lancer, for example, they're very like similar but very different characters and very different appearances on top of that. So my point is that Gil is already the perfect character. You don't have to do all these changes and add things into his character to make him interesting. You could just bring him over, slap a Japanese outfit on him, call him a ruler, and aside from that, he's still the same character. He's still the king of heroes. He's still the man that we learned to love years and years and decades ago. Ruler Guild seems way more chill than Archer Guild. See, the only reason Archer Guild seems as volatile as he is because in the base stories where he's from, like UBW, Normal, Stay Night, and Heaven's Feel and whatnot, is because he is written to be an antagonist there. Otherwise, he's pretty much chill in every other fate out there, without really changing any other parts of his character, or really at all. Even Castigo, like, there's barely a difference. Like, Castigo's more mature, that's what everyone says, and it is true, he's more mature. But he's still very arrogant, he's still gonna call people mongrels. He's still gonna hold back somewhat. Like, when we first see him and then Anna and Mashu fight him, he's not going all out. He's sitting on his throne, big chillin'. He's still gonna be the arrogant king, he's just not as volatile and, like, as easily pissed off. Otherwise, he's still pretty much the same dude. For example, if Artoria's new version appears in New Guild, it will be easy money for developers. I mean, yeah, it's easy money for either one of them, for real. Yeah, plus the Grail Mud, like, fucked up his personality a little bit. Yeah, Kid Gil is... if they don't give an animation update to Enkidu, at least Kid Gil, because Kid Gil does have a bonus event, so fuck it, why not? Gil is the ideal. As a protagonist, antagonist, deuteragonist, a mentor, etc. He's very versatile. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying that. People don't realize, like, he's the GOAT of Fate. He's not the face of Fate. That goes to Arturia. I will gladly give that to her. That's just a fact, and anyone who argues otherwise, they're just wrong. But at the same time, the soul of Fate is the King of Heroes, is Gil. Like you just said, you need a good protagonist, slap Gilgamesh on there. You need somebody to be an antagonist. Oh, easy. Gilgamesh was an antagonist from the beginning. He could fit that role easily. You need somebody to share the role as protagonist, as a deuteragonist. Oh, slap Gil right there as well. You need somebody to be comedic relief and a side character. In Fate Samurai Remnant, for example, he could fit that character as well. He could literally fit in any role you give him in, and he will be perfect, and he will outperform and outshine everyone else. Whereas Arturia, no offense to my Arturia fans, oh, you gotta change not only her class, but her overall appearance. You gotta make her titties bigger. You gotta make her act more evil. You gotta alter her. You gotta do all these different things to her in order to make her fit a certain mold. Whereas Gil, okay, you know, just slap a Japanese outfit on him. He's a ruler now. Just slap a red suit on him. Oh, he's this chill dude in a casino, just big chillin'. Like, dog, very minimal changes. Otherwise, he's the same character throughout. The only real exception is Kid Gil. Kid Gil is very different from normal Archer Gil. Love interest? I mean, technically, in a way, extra CCC, it was kind of a love interest. Kind of. If his power wasn't BS, I would like it more. But that's the point. His power, his Gate of Babylon, Aya is dummy OP. But he rarely uses them at its full potential. Otherwise, I agree. It is... Okay, wait. What is this? Okay, I think they're just promoting... Yeah, I can't show that too much because that's, you know... Wait, they're not going to show the full episode, are they? Because if they show the full episode, then we're going to be here forever. Imagine they just played the entirety of Fate Strange Fake. Okay, no, it's just a trailer. It's just a trailer. We good. Also, Gil can be written to be hella flexible since he has every Noble Phantasm Gate of Babylon. If they wanted to, they could make Gil use Gate Bulk for all they care. Yeah, obviously he can't use it to the same effect and the same efficacy as, let's say, Ku, of course, Skasaha, for example. But he could use, and he has, I'm pretty sure, the prototype of Gate Bulk. He has used it in the past. He's just that guy. Gil Glaze by Arturia. I'm not hating Arturia. I just said Arturia is the face that runs the place. This is not Gil Glaze or Arturia hate, or vice versa. This is not Gil hate or Arturia Glaze. This is Gil facts and Arturia facts. Gil fact is that he could fit any mold with minimal changes. That's a Gil fact. Look at all the Gils out there besides Kid Gil. All of them are pretty much the same character, just slightly different to fit the story. Arturia fact. Look at all the different Arturias. The myriad of different Arturias. You can look at Vanilla Saber and then compare her to the Lion King Arturia. Very, very different characters. Now, very similar. There are similarities between the two, if you break it down. Otherwise, they are very different. So you have to do massive changes to Arturia to make her fit as an antagonist, or to make her fit as a certain other type of character. Gil, you don't got to do that because he's already perfect. That's my only argument here. It's not Gil Glaze or Arturia hate or vice versa. It's just facts. It's just facts as the way it is presented to us by Type Moon and by all the different fates. Like it's kind of hard to argue. Like I don't think anyone could really argue that. Like, again, if you like Arturia, it's not Arturia. I don't even hate Arturia at all, but it just is what it is. I mean, it's just an exploration of Ordeal to the highest degree, but they are different characters, so they fit different roles. Exactly. Like if you take Lancer Arturia, the Lion King, cut her out of Camelot and pasted her over Saber in Fate Stay Night, it would be a completely different story. Completely different character interactions. Whereas if you take Ruler Gil from Fate Samurai Remnant, plucked him out of Fate Samurai Remnant and put him into Fate Stay Night, he might slightly be different. Slightly be different. But I think the overall plot will be roughly the same. I feel like it would be. He might be in a slightly better mood, because in this iteration he didn't get like drowned in the Grail mud. But I think for the most part it's gonna be roughly the same story. Yeah, Saber Lily can't fight through, but oh my, yeah. See, you went there. See, that's true though. That's true. You're low-key spitting, Cha-Cha. You're low-key spitting though. Like normal Saber and Saber Lily, they can't do that trend with like the boba drink and like put them over, put the boba drink over their titties. But Lance Arturia could do that. You know what I mean? In my opinion, missed opportunity in Strange Fake. We have no Shiro. We could have God and Lance Arturia. That would have been insane. I mean, Shiro is mentioned in Strange Fake by, or was it Orlando? It was Orlando and Caster that mentioned Shiro. Are y'all talking about titties? Oh my goodness. I mean, this is Fate we're talking about, bro. If we're not talking about thighs or legs or ass or defenseless anuses or ani, what's the plural version of anus? Now that I think about it, then we're talking about titties. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're literally just summarizing. Oh wait, no, that's the voice actor of Richard. I just realized. I literally met that man too. The voice actor of Richard. Yuki Ono. I have his autograph as well. He's the homie. Favorite Saber face. Okay, if we're gonna talk about that. Okay, Saber face. So there's a difference in my opinion, and I don't think if it's even my opinion. There is a difference between an Arturia face and like a Saber face. Saber face is like anybody that looks like Arturia, whereas an Arturia face, it's just different versions of Arturia, but it's still King Arthur, right? Or am I mistaken? There might be a different term, but Saber face, if we're broadening the spectrum, it's between John Alter, because technically John is a Saber face. It's between John Alter and maybe Yamato Takeru, maybe. But if we're just talking about purely Arturias, I think Arturia Alter, just base Arturia Alter, I think that might be my favorite. But yeah, that I guess that's my answer. That is my answer for that question. Absolutely. I wish we on NA could have picked the rerun events ourselves that appear in, like they did for JP. Yeah, that would have been cool, but I feel like the same event would have won anyway, and at the same time I feel like it would be very hard for the NA team to implement a different event from what JP did. Just from a coding standpoint, I mean, I don't know. They could just reuse the same old code and adapt it, I guess. Greetings from Japan. Oh, you're in Japan, Paradox? Nice. Or do you already live there? I actually don't know. But what's up, dog? How you doing? How many rolls of quartz you think Percival can hold? Quarters? Oh yeah, I thought you said quartz. How many rolls of quarters you think Percival can hold between his melons? I'm gonna say at least 10. At least 10. But you can go higher, I guess. Oh my gosh. But yeah, man. Okay. It's already 3. It's been 30 minutes since the stream started. Not my stream, but since their stream started. They haven't announced anything to my knowledge. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Been here for the last 2 weeks for vacation. I'll go back to Italy in a couple days. Damn. How do you like it? Did it live up to the hype? And is it your? I assume it's your first time in Japan, so hopefully you had a great time. My parents were actually just there a couple days ago, so they spent about a week and a half over there. Ideally, if I were to go to Japan, I would like to spend at least 2 weeks there for sure. I feel like 1 week would be too short. I think 2 weeks would be the ideal amount of time. Obviously, the longer the better, you know, that's what they say. Now it's even better. The place is insane. I would hope so. And you live in Italy too. Italy is great. From what I've seen. Obviously, I haven't been there. I mean, it's not obvious, but like I haven't been there. But that's one of the places I want to visit as well. Like it would be Japan probably number 1. I honestly would put Italy number 2. Either Italy or Greece. Although I'd probably just go to both at that point. Like it's not that far apart from each other. But yeah. You'd say 3 is ideal? Okay, 3 weeks. Or are you talking about 3 years? You're talking about years, huh? You're talking about 3 years. I mean, if it was possible, if it was financially possible, I would probably stay there for like a year or something. But like, yeah. Actually, why are there saber faces that aren't Arturia? I got an arrow because being related, but Okida is the new Buster Assassin aren't related to King Arthur. It's weird. Because it makes money. They can't. They've realized, whether the fans want to admit it or not, that unlike Gilgamesh, Arturia is not as interesting. Therefore, they can't keep reusing her. But they could keep reusing her design, which is gonna get them money from all the Arturia fans. That's just a fact. Again, it's not Arturia hate. I don't want this to become a thing like, oh my god, you hate Arturia. Like, no, it's just a fact, dog. Like they're gonna keep reusing her general face, her hair, and slap it onto other characters just to get a quick buck. Because unlike Gilgamesh, normal Arturia isn't nearly as interesting. That's just, come on, let's be real. Do you think JP new spec requirement affects NA immediately? That's not usually what happens. It usually takes a couple months, right? But like, you never know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's never, like, normal base vanilla Saber has never made an appearance in an event. And I think technically she appeared in like the first summer event, but that's only to transition into her summer version, which I don't really count because that's just summer Arturia. But normal Saber, like, no shot. You just like her face, it's so cute, and then easy mode. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why there's a lot of Saber faces. How many Gil faces are there that are not Gil? Like, I guess, okay, Jason kind of looks like him, but not really. Like, it's just another blonde, arrogant dude, but not really. Like, there's not really any Gilgamesh faces. But Arturia has a lot of faces, a lot of characters that look like her. It's because they're taking advantage of the fact that people like her. So, Okida, like, okay, Ziktiv, I will meet you halfway. Okida deadass looks like Arturia. Like, we can't even, like, debate that. Literally looks like her. John, however, I will agree with you. The idea of John looking similar to Saber never made sense to me because they don't really look alike. Like, it's the same character designer of Takeuchi, but at that point it's just Takeuchi's art style. Otherwise, John looks nothing like Saber. So for her to be classified as a Saber face doesn't really make sense to me. But Ogita does dead ass looks like Saber. Like, I mean, come on. Gil is Gil, how dare you copy your king? Yeah, like, you can't copy. Although, if they were to release, like, Gilgamesh has a son, like, lore-wise, he does have a son. If they ever release Gilgamesh's son, that would be so fucking hilarious. The only Japanese Saber face. Yamato Takeru is a thing. Yamato Takeru is a thing, but I don't blame you for forgetting. Yamato Takeru is still pretty newish to the Fate universe, so it's still only about 2 years old, but you know, there's still Yamato Takeru. Yeah, Saber. Like, I think that's when FGO is gonna end. Once we have an Arturia face for every single country and every single culture. Cause, yeah, I was gonna say we don't have an Indian Arturia face, but again, if you consider John an Arturia face, then by extension, Lakshmi Bai is a Arturia face, and therefore, you know, she's the Indian Arturia face. But you know, there's still a bunch of other countries and cultures out there where we don't have an Arturia face. So once that happens, that's when they could confidently be like, okay, I think we've done all we can with FGO. We can end it now. She's a John. Okay, so Lakshmi Bai is a John face, but if I'm not mistaken, John herself is a Saber face. So you can't have one be a John face and not be a Saber face at the same time, since John is a Saber face. Wait, let me look at the fact that it's a trait in the game is insane, by the way. Saber face. I'm looking this shit up. Okay, Arturia face. I'm looking at a list right now. I don't have it on stream up. Okay, yeah, John is there. You know what's interesting? They have John listed as an Arturia face, but they don't have Lakshmi Bai, which is again weird. So in game they don't consider Lakshmi Bai a Arturia face, but I mean, if John is a Saber face or an Arturia face, and Lakshmi Bai is literally explicitly stated to... Oh wait, no, she is there. Never mind, she is there. I'm smoking crack. I was looking at the Lancer section. She is there. Never mind. I just take everything I said in the past 1 minute, throw it out the window. Lakshmi Bai is considered a Saber face. So yeah, get wrecked, I guess. If you think about it, any female drawn by Takeuchi is a Arcued face. Arcued face. Well, Arcued, like if you look at her original design, she's pretty distinguishable from Arturia, but the recent iteration of Arturia or of Arcued looks very similar to Arturia. Now, I'm not saying Arcued is a Arturia face, but if you put them side by side and showed them to a non-Fate fan, to a non-Type Moon fan, a lot of people would assume like they're either related or the same character, just like with different eye color. It's just the curse of Takeuchi's art style, especially like recent Takeuchi art style. What mount do you use for your phone? What mount? I use this like Ugreen MagSafe thing. As you can see, the game is right here. That's about it. Don't really use anything too fast. That's like $5 on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's the mount. I don't know if that's the question necessarily, but yeah, I have a MagSafe magnetic case that I could slap onto any MagSafe thing. Alice is an Arturia face. That is a crazy take. Yeah, it's by Ugreen. UGREEN, Ugreen. And it's literally like $5 on Amazon, maybe $10. And you just slap your phone onto it if you have a MagSafe device. I've never seen that taken before. Alice is an Arturia face. I mean, she's not labeled as one in game. But I mean, if she was drawn by Takeuchi, I think Takeuchi did the original design for her, but not for the Mahotsukai no Yoru visual novel, and definitely not for the game or of FGO. Like Alice's appearance. Alice doesn't really look like an Arturia face. But I guess again, if Takeuchi drew her in his modern art style, then I guess they would look similar, but just like me thinking about it, they don't look alike at all, but yeah. Is it a bad idea to go for Spacer Rish on my third SSR? I have Waver and Castoria. It's not a bad idea. If you have Castoria and Waver, specifically Castoria, then she's an amazing servant to get. In fact, I would go for, if she's only your third SSR, if you're new to the game, by the way, welcome to the game. If that's the case, hit that like button to get good luck in your guaranteed Spacer Rish if you hit that like button. But Spacer Rish is a very good arts servant. And with Castoria as one of your SSRs, she synergizes really well with her. They synergize really well together, so might as well get one of the best art servants in the game to go with your Castoria. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea from a purely gameplay standpoint, but like what Ziktiv and World said, if you like them, regardless of how they are gameplay wise, you should roll for them, especially since you're just starting the game. In my opinion, if you're just starting FGO, don't worry so much about the meta and like gameplay and stuff like that. Just roll for the characters that resonate with you. Roll for the characters that you like from a design or character standpoint. You could worry about the meta later, because you could always roll for these characters during guaranteed SRs, during next year when literally every 5-star gets a rerun next year. You can worry about that next year. I'd say for your first year of FGO, I don't know if this is bad advice, by the way, but let me know if it's bad advice for fellow FGO veterans. But I feel like when you're just starting out, don't worry about that kind of stuff, especially in the beginning of the game. Now, on the flip side, if you want to future-proof your account, then yeah, go for like the super powerful servants. But like, you already have Waver and Castoria. There's a lot of low-star servants that synergizes really well with them. That could help carry you through the entire game anyway, so it's okay. When's the next free 5-star ticket on NA? I have no idea. Is there even a next one? I don't think so. Yeah, the only characters you should really worry about as far as like, yeah, you need to get these characters, is like, you already have Castoria, so you're already doing a good job on the art side of things, because she's an art support servant. When Oberon gets a rerun, try to go for him, because he's like one of the best supports in the game. Most would say the best. Ooh, that's cool art. They're showing some cool little art by Takeuchi, showing the MC's Olga Mashu. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, the low star servants are some of the best in the game. Like, I know, like when you see like a bronze servant or a silver servant, like a 3-star or lower, most players, especially if you're just starting out, most players will just ignore them and be like, oh man, they're low stars, they're trash. Like, no, a lot of them are really good. Especially if you do their interludes and their strengthening quests, which gives them buffs, by the way. Then some of them are some of the best servants in the entire game. So you want to rely on your low star servants, because there's going to be a lot of situations where you're not going to have the 5-star or 4-star alternative. Whereas having your low stars there, especially in the beginning of the game, having them there to rely on is always a good idea. Arash is hella goated, so is Gong. Yeah, Gong and Arash, if you could train them. I mean, Gong is a little bit more support heavy. You're gonna need a little bit more than Waver and Castoria if you're just starting out, but Arash for sure. Like, he's an easy plug into any team. Yeah, you'll power through most early game content up until Camelot just using a friend support. Once you get to Camelot, that's when you're gonna have to start thinking. But even then, I could see people just bringing a support berserker of some kind and just steamrolling through Camelot. It's once you get to the epic remnants, that's when you need to start sweating. Yeah, Gong is very expensive. Like, funny enough, like, he's a bronze servant, so he's cheap by himself, but if you want him to work as a very efficient farming servant, like, you do need a shit ton more than just Castoria and Waver. Whereas Arash, just slap him onto your team, give him any CE that you have that gives him NP at the start, and then you already have Waver and Castoria, so just, you know, charge him up. He's gonna die in one turn anyway, and there you go. Yeah, a lot of low stars are really good, especially some from the Tree of Evocation Leaf Shop. Oh yeah, you could get those, you get a lot of free servants, free 4 stars from the Evocation Shop, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of great servants there. If we're talking about, like, servants that could synergize well with your Castoria, there's definitely a handful there that you could utilize for sure. So that's something I didn't even think about. Yeah, like, new players have that accessible right off the jump, which is cool. They don't gotta play the event or anything to get a lot of these free servants. So yeah, you'll be good for a good bit, to be honest. Like, if you're able to get a lot of those good 4-star servants from the Evocation Shop, yeah, you'll be straight. Double Castoria and Waver could return with a grilled Gong Black Grill, wouldn't they? See, if this is a new player and all they have is Castoria and Waver, I'm assuming the Castoria is not 10'd. I'm assuming the Waver is not 10'd. I'm assuming they're not going to be able to 10 Gong at that point. And I'm also assuming they're not going to be able to append skill as well. They probably don't have a maxed out Black Grill if they have a Black Grill. So these are a lot of things you got to take into account. So when you take all those stuff into account, like, it is, Gong is still very, very expensive. Whereas, again, a Rash, you don't even got to upgrade any of his skills. You just got to do his strengthening or his interlude or whatever gives him that buff, and then slap him with any C that has a starting NP, and then you will be able to clear most wave 1s early game. That's not a Lance request. Also, they can grill the servant if they really like them and they become strong. Yeah, so if they really like them, for sure. Yeah, I think they're talking about the Fate Grand Order convention, the 11th anniversary stuff later. That's gonna be coming out, or not coming out, but that's gonna be happening in a couple months. Took me 5 years to max my first Black Grill. That's crazy. That's crazy. I think in NA it actually took a minute for me as well. Not 5 years for sure. Maybe like 2-3 years. JP, I don't remember, but I feel like I maxed it out pretty quickly. Fun fact, Gong has the highest possible damage ceiling in the game as long as the enemies are able to survive the first tick of damage, like guts or bars. Well, there you go. Yeah, unlike other Gacha games that I played, FGO lets us raise a specific servant of our choice to higher power levels past their limits. Yeah, on some Dragon Ball Z type shit, exactly. You mean Arash? I do run him. I was told to just run him and make him NP ASAP to swap. Yeah, that's pretty much how you use him. He's just there to do big damage for 1 turn, because I mean he's only gonna be there for 1 turn. Hopefully clear the wave, or at least set up the next servant that's gonna be coming to clear the wave for the next couple waves. That's usually how it works for Arash. I thought you were talking about Arishigolf. First, no, not Arish, not Arishigolf. I get it. Arash, no. Arash. Usually I say Arishigolf's full name. I rarely call her Arish, because I would get confused. One of the most fun farming things to do is doing Arash 3-turn farming. I mean, you can do that. It's possible, but it's very circumstantial and very reliant on, you know, your servants and CEs and whatnot. Yeah, Alcides nuts. If we get Alcides, bro, you're gonna hear that a lot. I'll probably skip out on 11th anniversary this year. Have some other plans during the time. 10th anniversary was peak for me. Yeah, I feel like once you go 10th anniversary, arguably even 5th anniversary, like if you go by 5s, like those are probably going to be the biggest events. I don't know what they're going to do for 11th. Although they would have to live up to the hype to keep the game's momentum going, I guess. So who knows? Maybe 11th anniversary might be goated too. Most people don't have her in their support list. Oh, you're talking about Kuro? Yeah. Probably not. Most people put 5 stars in their support. I mean, I do too, so it is what it is. 11th anniversary, 1,001. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think the only time they're gonna do another 1,000 plus quartz extravaganza will be like 15th anniversary. I think 11th anniversary, while we're talking about it, because I know that's gonna be the big question. Oh, are they gonna give 1,000 quartz again? I don't think they're gonna do that. They're gonna save 1,000 plus quartz for 15th anniversary. They're probably just gonna give the usual 300 to 400, maybe 500 quartz for 11th this year. Yeah, I don't know. Damn, we're already talking about 11th anniversary. I guess since they're talking about it, we might as well talk about it. I don't know who they will release for 11th Annie. Probably the new Hassan. Like the young King Hassan. Azrael. I think that would be pretty hype. For me, that would be hype. Especially since he's part of Kalia now. Yeah, Kamazats would be cool. I don't know about 11th. Well, maybe. 11th anniversary, maybe. Does Cats give the NP up, though, or just the guts? Her skill gives the guts and Buster up, I think? I don't remember about NP up. I haven't used her in a minute. And nor do I have her in my main accounts. Azrael's the most likely servant to be 11th. That's what I'm saying. I think... Because a lot of the anniversary servants are like Caldia staff members. Caldia quote-unquote staff members. Da Vinci, Sherlock, obviously Olga last year. So if they want to continue that little trend that they sometimes do, or they've done in the past with anniversary, hey man, Azrael's right there. I guess there's other Caldia staff members, but like they're not going to release Gordolf, for example. They're not gonna release Olga's father, I don't think so. Sarah Jera, no fucking shot. Yeah, fucking shot. Gordolf would be cool. I mean, hot take, I would actually roll for Gordolf. He's actually kind of cool. If you read Olympus / Atlantis. he's low-key alright. Lolly Vinci was 4th anniversary. 5th anniversary is notorious for Castoria. I'm pretty sure. Because if you go by 5s, that's when they released the big characters, and Castoria is still a very big character. Which is crazy. Damn, fucking almost 6 years ago we got Castoria. Insane. Imagine we get Rin or Shiro, but not pseudo servants. That'd be kind of cool. Like them older, more used to their magecraft, used to their abilities. That'd be cool. Not gonna lie. Shigitono for 11th would be bold. A male character that from a design standpoint doesn't really have a lot going on. That would be interesting. But that's very unlikely. I need skin for Lostbelt 5 Saint Caligula. Damn, okay, you got Caligula fan here, okay. Okay, I think they're gonna start talking about the big news. So, very soon, because they got the homie Tucson out there. Kana Yoshiki. Okay, so any last calls for the upcoming Fate Strange Fake event? Any last minute calls? It could be a new servant. It could be buffs, animation updates. Again, bare minimum. Enkidu animation update. Gonna be happy no matter what they release for the gacha. As long as I get my Enkidu animation update, I will be a happy motherfucker. Enkidu is my Grand Lancer, my favorite Lancer. The Lancer I mainly use. One of the main servants I use just in general for a lot of boss fights. Because they are just that damn strong. But otherwise, I guess we don't know. We will find out very soon. Kanoyoshiki is about to end our lives. The welfare, honestly, Ayaka is a good chance. Someone said Sigma with like the Watcher class like attached to him. Wait, he's looking at the camera. I'm scared. Okay, they're laughing their asses off because he knows he's about to like fuck everyone right now. Yeah, Gil's gambling costume, that'd be sick. His casino red suit, brother. Which, fun fact, his suit was originally white in the manga and in like the old trailer or teaser that they did for Fate Strange Fake. Okay, wait, he's looking at the camera. He's looking at the camera. Okay, I was waiting for him to do this and then the fade to black and then we all get our assholes imploded. Oh god. Hello, Sir Jabak, how are you doing? It could be Assassin, although if they want to take advantage of her popularity and her being a waifu, I think they should probably give her as a 4-star in the banner so people roll. Plus, like, if she's a welfare, she's more than likely just gonna keep her same cloak on, which she looks cool with the cloak. But I don't know about you guys, I would love to see what they would do with like ascensions for her. Me personally. Now they could always give her a costume as a welfare. They've done that in the past with other servants, but I just want her to have 3 different ascensions myself. It's me personally. Okay. Kide and Bima also has a bonus in the event as well as Tezcat Lepoka, funny enough. That would be fun little stuff. Yeah, he's playing with us. He knows what's coming, and he knows that, like, me with my 4,000 quartz, I'm in danger. He knows I'm in danger. He knows hundreds, if not thousands, of other players are also in danger. Yeah, if Hippolyta comes out, which they already teased her in the art, I think Alcides Nuts is gonna come out for sure. Because if one comes out, the other one has to come out, in my opinion. It just wouldn't make sense if one gets to get in the game and the other one doesn't. But you never know. Kide is my mom's husbando. Who's your mother? Okay, wait. Strange Fate collaboration event. Okay, with the red and black logo. It takes place in the desert. Okay, probably the Nevada desert. That's pretty. Although that doesn't really look like Nevada. That looks more like. Actually, no. It takes place in Camelot, right? Like it's supposed to be Camelot heavy for some reason. That's what Narita said. And I'm pretty sure it has Camelot spoilers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which is interesting. If we get like a random Aussie cameo, which I don't think it gives a bonus in this event, I'd be pretty happy. Aussie animation update. I would not be expecting that, but I'm not going to be opposed. Although Enkidu animation update would make more sense. Okay, wait. Okay, the event does start in about 30 minutes. Yes, that's what that says. In about 30 minutes. Yo, if they release Aggravain, dog, I said I would be fine with anybody that they release, but that's with the caveat it's anybody from Strange Fake. If they release Aggravain, I'm literally gonna take a shit on stream. Just gonna ruin my entire channel, ruin everyone's eyes, and just like have my channel shut down because I will take a shit on stream if Aggravain comes out. Unfiltered, uncensored. No black bars, no blurs. Just asshole on camera. No shot. All the Aggravain hype. Again, I don't get it. I don't know why a lot of people want to see him come out, but hey, if you're an Aggravain fan and if he comes out, then hey, I hope you guys are happy to see my asshole on your face. Clip that. Yeah, clip that. Not even demonetized. My channel will get shut down if I show bare asshole. I'm pretty sure that goes against terms and conditions. Okay, wait. Okay, just cutscene. Okay, so Gordolph, probably Da Vinci, maybe Olga. I don't know how updated the event is. Hans Christian Andersen. Oh, the writers are there. Okay, Dumas confirmed. Dumas confirmed. Waivers here. So Flat might come out. Okay, there's papers. All right, Dumas is confirmed, right? 3-star, new 3-star. He's not gonna be a 4-star. I don't think so. Ooh, Mashu in her original outfit. Okay, so definitely more tied to the singularities than... Although Gordolf is there, so maybe not. Okay, the Hassans. Penthesilea. Okay, yeah. I mean, come on now. That's Flat. That's Flat, right? I didn't catch the other silhouettes. That was Flat. That's Flat if I've ever seen one. And I'm not talking about flat-chested. That's Flat. Flat as welfare? Maybe. Maybe Flat and Jack together. But again, if you've read the light novel, you know more about Flat, right? I don't think they're gonna dive into that stuff. But maybe just Flat and Jack together as like a pseudo-servant kind of deal. I honestly wouldn't be mad. And it would be cool if you're just an anime-only viewer and you've seen like the ending of Fate Strange Fake. That might be kind of hype because based on what happens at the end of season 1, to see that and just to see him added into the game is kind of funny. Especially what happened at the end. Yeah, Flat Jack. Yeah. You got it. I think so. That was Flat with the... I think he was holding a knife. So that's Jack's knife and he's probably gonna have the watch on. Brother. The other two silhouettes, I didn't catch that. Who were they? The only one I had my eyes on was the one in the middle. Maybe it's like Jack's other appearances because Jack is able to shapeshift into anyone. So maybe for the other ascensions, maybe it's like different people. Maybe Jack is taking the form of Flat and it's not necessarily Flat himself. Oh, raid battles. Okay. Sigma? Oh my god, Sigma nuts. Okay. Unless it's just them as NPCs. Maybe we shouldn't get too hyped. Come on. Okay. Alright. So I'm assuming this is the event schedule. It's gonna be time gated as per usual, not even surprising. That's usually what they do nowadays for the past couple years, pretty much most of the game's lifespan at this point. Maybe low key they put 3 characters in one welfare, if that makes sense. Maybe it's like all the masters or all the important masters like Sigma, Flat, and Ayaka maybe in one servant. And you get, depending on Ascension, they will have different skills. I don't know, for a welfare. That would be interesting. That would be different. That would be strange. You know what I mean? That would fit the theme for sure. Yeah, Jack's demon form was legitness for sure. Okay, Ayaka 5-star CE with Sigma nuts on the back. I believe this is the event CE, and we also get a 4-star EXP CE with Ayaka, with Chibi Ayaka and Richard. Ayaka looking pretty nice as well. Okay, so they're the 5-star CE. Okay, I see Assassin in the back. I didn't even catch that. Cool. Extra damage, I assume. 200% extra damage at during the event. As expected for like a raid event type thing. And there's the event CEs. Ooh, that 5-star CE. Oh, that 5-star CE. That's Gil, right? I think that's Gil, Enkidu, and Tine. I want to see the wolf is there too, but I can't really tell. Oh, wait. There's Jack, like little Jack, in the 3-star CE with Flat. That's really nice. That 4-star CE though, it's a little bit concerning. You know, Philia and the other girl. Okay, Jack the Ripper, 4-star command code, 5-star command code with Lance Arturia. And then the 3-star Perlades book. We might get Francesca actually. That 3rd CE, or command code I should say, that's the book that Gilded uses. Francesca's or Perlades spell book. Which if you didn't catch that, Perlade, the one that we see in Strange Fake, is the one that taught Gilded how to use black magic or dark magic or whatever you want to call it. So the fact we get that as a command code kind of tells me we might get Francesca. Again, there's a lot of possibilities, man. There's a lot of possibilities. Okay, okay. Hippolyta? Yeah, okay. This was pretty confirmed, right? Like, this was obvious. This was obvious. They teased her in the art. Oh, she looks nice. Same artist as Ishtar, Karen, Enkidu, of course, as you could see. Damn, she looks good. 4-star? 4-star writer, okay. Okay, 4-star. Okay, she's doing the Naruto run. Okay, she's pretty much doing what she did in the episode 4. Oh, she has Heracles' axe. Wait, is that the lore? Is Heracles' axe from the Amazons? Or did she take it from him? I actually don't know. I don't know the lore that hard, apparently. Look at her. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know. She looked good. She looked good. See the welfare, by the way? Anyone catch that? Anyone could read that? She's the welfare? She's the welfare. Okay. Okay, the 5-star. Okay, the gacha has to be Alcides nuts then. Right? The gacha has to be Alcides nuts. Wait, she's a welfare. Damn. That kind of sucks in a way. Because that means she doesn't have a different ascensions. I mean, her base form's already peak design. So in a way, it's like, okay, whatever. But, man, I was really excited to see what her possible ascensions would look like. But now, I think that pretty much confirms No Name Assassin's probably a 4-star servant. In the banner. And she's at least going to get ascensions. And then 5-star Alcides nuts. Okay. It has to be, right? 5-star Alcides nuts for banner 1. Okay. That's nice. They already spoiled her too, which was interesting. They usually tease like what characters is about to be revealed in the event with the art that they show on social media, but they don't outright show you the character that's coming out. Although she is a welfare, so it's not the biggest spoiler ever. It's just interesting that they blatantly put her. So like we already knew she was coming out. As a welfare though, that is unexpected. That is kind of a surprise. Interesting. Okay. 5-star. Oh god. So there's no 4-star? Okay, whatever. Like 4-star gacha, I mean. I'll see these nuts. Huh? Is that right? Wait. Oh! 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 Okay, but if you ascend him, does he turn into... If you ascend him, does he transform into the female one or what? Okay, I was honestly not expecting him to be the 5-star. But if they give him Francesca as a costume, I think people will be happy. I feel like a lot of people are going to be disappointed now. Oh, there you go. Oh. Oh, shit. You got to be able to transform, right? Yep. Okay, yeah, she transforms. He transforms into... That is crazy. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. Okay, speaking of flat. Oh, they are together. Okay, I knew that if they were going to release Francois or Francesca, they would have to be together. They would have to be together. Because it's the same motherfucker. It's the same motherfucker. Interesting. 5-star caster. Francois and Francesca Prelati. Well, as soon as I saw that command code earlier, I was like, okay, there's a chance Francesca / Francois is going to come out. But them as a 5-star, that is interesting. That is very interesting. See, if they were to release... I mean, when they revealed Aoko a couple years ago, they did also reveal Alice in the same stream. Even though Alice is like the part 2 banner that came out like days after Aoko. So there is a chance there is another 5-star that they are going to announce. Man, I'm very surprised because... Okay. So there's no 4-star or 3-star... to join them Because usually they go by rarity, right? They showed the 3-star, then the 4-star, then the 5-star. They just went straight to the 5-star. Which kind of tells me there's no 4-star or 3-star that's going to be in the gacha too. Which kind of sucks, because I was expecting them to release more Strange Fake Servants. Although I'm pretty confident with Hippolyta as the 4-star welfare. Alcides Nuts is going to be the 5-star going into the second banner. I want to say so. Although I'm also really sad too because there's no animation update from the looks of things. 3 5-stars? No, that's insane. See, in an ideal world, yeah, that would be sick nasty with the sauce, but I don't know. Her tits got bigger? I actually don't know. They look the same, or dare I say smaller, but it might be like the art style. Although I guess I'm rolling for Francesca. / Francois. Per laddie. I'm definitely like I mean I don't want to be that guy, but I'm probably gonna keep them in the female version. No offense to the Francois fans out there. Interesting. 2 in 1. You get to pick your flavor. Oh Jesus. I mean, they were big in the NP. In the NP itself, like, you see, like, this big monster with big-ass titties, but in just the form that we're looking at right now on the screen, they don't look bigger, necessarily. You have to wait 2 years to get them on global? No? Yeah, you gotta wait. Most likely, unless they want to do, like, a Richard thing and release them earlier. Interesting. Oh man. Tell me there's more stuff though, because I still want to see Enkidu animation update at least. Again, I was okay with anyone that they release. I will say, even though I said that, I was also expecting at least a 4-star in the gacha or a 3-star in the gacha. This one 5-star is interesting. Really, no other 4-star or a 3-star at least. Like Dumas is a 3-star. 4-star, like Assassin. Yeah, Assassin's the one I was like really looking forward to seeing. I wonder if Francesca's gonna open up her stomach in one of the Ascensions. I don't know. Yeah, I thought they would milk it harder, but again, I think they want to play it safe with the spoilers. Yeah, they were playing it safe. Because either they were gonna go super hard and spoil everything. And when I say everything, everything with Gilgamesh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Everything with Flat, you guys know what I'm talking about. Aika, arguably, you guys know what I'm talking about, but they're playing it safe. Hippolyta, there's really not much to spoil with her. See, what you see is what you get from the anime. Even though she only appeared for like 1.5 episodes. Francesca and Francois, what you see is what you get. Really not else to spoil about. Although, Dumas is surprising not to say as a 3-star. And Assassin, No Name Assassin, is surprising as well. So they were playing it super safe. So on one hand, I get it. On another hand, I am like, damn. I wanted at least an Enkidu animation update. Not gonna lie. So is a part of me disappointed? Is a part of me let down? Of course. But, and this is a big ass but, I still have hopes in the second banner. I don't know if they would release a 4-star or 3-star in the second banner, because they're not releasing a 4-star or 3-star in the first banner, so why would they do that for the second banner? They don't usually do that. Usually the 4 or 3-star, if they release a new one, it's going to be available on all the banners for the event. But they're not showing any other servants, so I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be another banner, but we don't know. We don't know for sure. Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie. This is they played it too safe. Not only did they play it too safe, they didn't even give me an Enkidu animation update, which would have been, you know, bare minimum for me. Okay, it's a trailer, right? Animation. Okay, yeah, just like a teaser kind of thing. Okay, Francesca and Francois. Is there anyone else? I don't know what that was. Okay, I think Richard's lion form is gonna make some kind of a appearance. Yeah, I'm rolling. I said I was gonna roll no matter what, but to be fair, we usually don't know if there's gonna be part 2 banner on events like Gura Gura. Well, I said this earlier, like 5 minutes ago, but with Mohotsukai no Yoru, they showed Aoko, and then minutes later they showed Alice. So at least with big collaborations, I would consider this a big collaboration event. They would tease both banners. They would, but they're not. So a part of me is like, damn, is there not gonna be a second banner? That kind of sucks, man. Shit. Hippolyta is a free. Again, interesting. Sad that we don't get other ascensions for her, but I guess her base design's already peaked. Francesca and Francois wouldn't be my first choice as the 5-star to release. Again, with Hippolyta there, I think Alcides is coming out next week. I want to say Alcides is coming out next week. Like, I will die on that hill. If next week happens and Alcides doesn't come out, then I'll gladly go on stream and say I was wrong. I'll go on video, I'll go on record saying I was wrong. But I don't believe they would release Hippolyta without at least releasing Alcides nuts. JP people won't be mad if we don't get Alcides. They'll be fine with the lolly and the leotard. Would you consider? Well, I guess she is a lolly because she's like. She's not lolly in the sense that she's like a little girl, but she's lolly in the sense that she's petite. Although I wouldn't call her a lolly in the sense that she's underage or anything like that. In fact, she's quite thick on certain areas. Damn, that's it? No way they just did that. No animation update. No, Enkidu's never gonna get an animation update at this point, because this would have been the perfect place to do it. This would have been the perfect place to do it. Because they're not going to do it for the next event. They're probably not going to do it for, like, anniversary. This would have been the perfect place to do it. It's Fate Strange Fake. It's the Fate Strange Fake collab event that they've been teasing for a little bit over a month now. Damn, that sucks. I'm not going to lie. That sucks, man. I mean, they might surprise us. Maybe we refresh the game. They have an animation update. I don't know. Although that's hella cope at this point. I think what's likely gonna happen is Alcides is gonna come out next week. No Name Assassin. I'm very surprised they're not releasing her. I'm very, very surprised they're not releasing her. She would have been perfect for the game. Yeah, just one new servant so far revealed. Again, I'm willing to bet. When we play through the event, when we look through the cutscenes, there's going to be a part where Alcides shows up because Hippolyta is here for a reason. I don't know the story of the event, obviously. I know as much as you guys. But Hippolyta being here, it tells me Alcides is going to be somewhat relevant in this event. They could do a little cop-out thing and just have normal Heracles there as a boss. Maybe Megalos as the boss. And then we fight Megalos / Grand Heracles / normal Heracles with Hippolyta, but I think Alcides is gonna be coming out as well next week. Damn, at least a new 3-star. That's what I'm saying. At least a new 3-star. A 3-star and a 4-star along with Francesca would have been ideal. And regardless of what they release in the gacha, I wanted at least an Enkidu animation update. At least. That is bare minimum. That's not even asking for much. Like asking for 3 5-stars, for example. Like someone said that in the chat. That's a little bit crazy. But an animation update for one of the faces of the series. One of the faces of Fate Strange Fake. Not even asking for a buff. I'm not even going that crazy. Just an animation update. Yeah, the stream is definitely over because there's only 11 minutes left. Nah, they definitely played it too safe. They did the bare minimum. Dare I say below minimum, because at least my bare minimum. I don't know about you guys. Everyone has different expectations. My bare minimum, regardless of who they release, was an Enkidu animation update. That's a bare minimum. They could release 5-star Tsubaki's parents for all I care. But if they gave me an animation update for Enkidu, one of the faces of the damn series, my Grand Lancer, Gilgamesh's equal, Gilgamesh's one and only true friend. If they did that for me, I would have been okay with anything they would have released. But because they didn't, now I gotta be critical. Now I gotta be negative. Now I gotta be like, be honest. I gotta be honest. If this is it, if next week doesn't reveal Alcides as the second banner, then this was kind of dog. This was dog. When I say dog, I mean dog water. If you don't know what dog water means, it means shit. It means underwhelming. It means disappointing. Whatever negative adjective you want to apply, that's what dog water means. And this feels very dog at face value. Now, for my Hippolyta fans out there, which I think most people are, congratulations, he's free. You don't even gotta roll. For my Francesca fans out there, which I know there are Francesca fans out there, I'm one myself. Hey, she looks good. But if we're just looking purely at content that was teased, just purely looking at the content, it isn't a lot. It's very, very bare bones. Yeah, I guess we just gotta wait for season 2. You just gotta wait for season 2. Yeah, no ascensions for Hippolyta is a missed opportunity. You would think with a character with her design, they would take the opportunity to put her in the gacha. But they didn't. Surprising. Very, very surprising. Now guys, I will be rolling. The stream isn't over when they're done. The stream is going to keep going in about 9 minutes. I will be rolling for Francesca / Francois. I will be checking out their ascensions. I hope their third ascension isn't luck because I hate that bullshit. I want to see it right away. And then that's when the stream is over, once I'm done ascending them. That is fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Like I want to be positive, but like we got to be real, right? We got to be honest. They did the bare minimum. Less than the bare minimum for my expectations, because my expectation was I don't care who the gacha is, I don't care who the welfare is. I just want an animation update for my boy Enkidu. And they couldn't do that. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, does this mean Enkidu won't get an animation update in the future? I don't know. I mean, this is the perfect time to do it, but they could, I guess they could do it at any given point in time and surprise us, but yeah. This is the barest of minimums. They even got the homie there. They got the full cast and crew. They could afford a green screen. They can't afford to give an animation update for my green boy. You can get a green screen though. No, it's not a new girl. To be fair to that was probably not gonna happen. If they don't want to spoil anything for the Strange Fake novel and for Strange Fake anime only, they weren't gonna release anything that would spoil stuff about Flat, about Aika, about Gil, about a bunch of other stuff. But they could have done Pale Rider, they could have done Jack the Ripper, they could have done Dumas. Like, take all of the spoilery characters away. Even Ishtar, take her away as well, Philia. There's just so many other characters that they could release. Jack the Ripper, Pale Rider, Dumas. Those 3 alone could have been thrown into the banner. Because I understand not releasing Ayaka, or not releasing Flat, or again Gil, or whatever. Because that's spoilery territory. But this is like very, very, very bare minimum. Yeah, I think that's it. People are worried why there's no... Yeah, there is none. I think there's none because it will probably spoil a future character. I don't know. I will hold my final judgment until after next week, because it usually takes a week for another banner to show up. But if this is everything we're getting, then I can't lie. This was a little bit dog water. This was a little bit of dog water. Okay, they're just talking about the grand duels. Yeah, I will save my final judgment, but if we're just going purely based on this information alone, if we assume this is everything that we're getting, we're gonna get raid bosses, we're gonna get 5-star Francesca, we're gonna get 4-star Welfare Hippolyta. No offense to those characters at all. I like them too. I love them, in fact, but it would have been nice to get 1 or 2 other servants. Would have been nice to get 1 or 2 animation updates. I'm not even asking for a buff or anything like that. Just an animation update. That's it. But I will save my overall judgment for next week. Once we see for sure if it's over. Yep, they're saying goodbye, so it's all ogre. They're waving goodbye. Yep, we get 14 quartz. Okay. So that's it, boys and girls and everyone in between. Okay, just for the record, because again, I'm gonna say my overall judgment for next week. But type 1, if this was the biggest crock of horseshit you've ever seen in your life, and type 5 if it was like everything you expected and more, and then whatever else in between, depending on like 2 if it was like slightly disappointed, I guess. Oh man. God damn. I'd say it's a, if this is all the information, it's probably just a 2 for me. Yeah, no, that, I don't even blame you guys for that. Like, I will defend like Strange Fake or FGO or whatever if it makes sense in my head. I cannot justify, besides them playing it too safe, I can't justify not doing a little bit more. Like Dumas is a 3-star. That's it. If they could put at least another new servant, at least. Granted, I'm sure some people would be like, "Oh, I don't care about him," but like at the very least, they're giving us more content than just this. Yeah, I'm gonna roll yellow. I said I was gonna roll no matter who they release. Again, even if they released fucking Tsubaki's parents, I will roll. Like I was serious about that. I have over 4,000 quartz, as you can see. I wasn't capping. I'm not a liar. But yeah, the update's in about 3 minutes, big dog. Yeah, 2 servants. You got to think about, like, let's put things into perspective. Fate Strange Fake has over 14 servants. I think a little bit over because of the Watcher class and whatnot. I think it might just be exactly 14. I don't know the exact amount, but it has a shit ton of servants. A lot of them are already in FGO, like Gil, Enkidu, Richard, and then a bunch of other characters like Flat, Aika, Sigma. They have all these characters to work with, and the only 2 characters that they decided to release is Hippolyta, who I will welcome regardless of welfare or gacha, and Francesca, who was probably going to be in the game inevitably. You know, she's cool. But you would think they would have, threw in 1 or 2 other characters, just 1 or 2. Like Jack the Ripper, man. Oh man, that would have been so cool. That would have been so cool. Such a ball dropper, man. They dropped the ball with that. Again, they could surprise us. There was no animation, no TVCM, no trailer. So maybe they're waiting to release that because maybe it has big spoilers for what's about to come out. Maybe. Is that me coping? Is that me like smoking the copium, smoking the hopium? Is that, I don't know, inhaling that shit? Loki shoving it up my ass? Maybe, but you never know, I guess. Yeah, how do you pronounce it, Willie? Educate me. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these characters, to be fair. So I'll gladly be corrected. That's okay. Yeah, Jack would have been... Ah, dog. How they fuck that up, man? Fuck. Jack would have been so cool. I saw people saying that he could be a pretender, which would make sense. Ah, the Demon Jack too would have been so cool. Jack's demon form's not really a spoiler though. They could literally have, like, if they wanted to be safe without spoiling Flat, they could have made Jack and Flat like a pseudo servant, like Jack with the watch, or like a Flat with the watch, and then, you know, they could play around with the ascensions, and then the third ascension could be the demon form. They could have just done that. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Again, I'm gonna hold my overall judgment for next week, but bare minimum, this was very, 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 very disappointing. But we are gonna be rolling for Francesca because I said I like Francesca, I like Francois. Hippolyta is free, so I don't gotta worry about her. Very interesting. Okay. Let's go. With Gilded, oh my god, dude. Okay, whatever. Although the 5-star CE does have Gilded Enkidu, so I will take my W's where I could take them. Even if they're small, little, bitch-made W's. At least Gilded Enkidu and Tine got a CE, I guess. Okay, let me just take a picture of my overall quartz, because this is the most quartz I've ever saved in my life. So wish me good luck. I think so the third ascension is locked. I think that's what that says, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Whatever. How many NP levels? I'll see how they play and I'll decide. I'll see how they play and I'll decide, because like I could theoretically go for NP5 with the amount of quartz I have, but let's try to get one. This bare minimum one. Then we'll see what the skills are about and the ascensions, and if I like what I see. Plus, like I said, I'm hoping there's going to be another banner. I'm hoping there will be next week. So I don't want to blow my load right now, NP5 Francesca, be happy for a week, and then next week we get Alcides nuts. Or we get another Gil. Or whatever the fuck. I don't think that's even an event craft essence, but I will save that for collection purposes. Oh, man. What are the top 3 servants who you wanted? From Strange Fake, Jack the Ripper. True Berserker, which wasn't really gonna happen. Well, actually, number 1 would have been, spoilers, like a new Gil. Then Jack the Ripper, then maybe True Berserker. Those 3 were probably, realistically. Maybe. But they didn't do that. I know, an animation update for Enkidu. Am I smoking crack when I say that? Like, I've said it so many times in this stream. But if they could have at least done that, I would have been happy no matter what. That's just how much of a fan I am of Enkidu, but they didn't do that. Fuck. Check if we got any rank. Like, there's no way. There's absolutely... Like, I mean, I don't care about the buffs. Like, well, if Gil got a second skill buff, that would have been sick. But, like... No shot. Yeah, I'm just saying they would have got hella money from me if they released a new Gil or a new Enkidu or every other Strange Fate character aside from or right with Francesca, but they didn't do that. Yeah, Jester. I don't care if they release Jester, Hansa Cervantes, Orlando. I don't care. I would have rolled. I wanted at least an animation update for my boy Enkidu. Well, at least you got Francois Yellow Radio. And Hippolyta, but she is a 4-star. Yeah, at least she's free. So the pros and cons of her being free is that, well, everyone could get her as long as you play the event. The con, however, is unless you give her a costume in the event, she's most likely not gonna have other ascensions. I like that little jacket with Flat. That is cute. That is cute, I will say. They put Dumas in the 3-star. That's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. They could have released them as a servant, man. This whole stream, this whole gacha session, especially, just gonna be me complaining. I'm sorry. If you're watching this as a video, I'm sorry. I would love to be more hyped because this is Strange Fake we're talking about. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Fate series of all time. Read the light novels years ago. Have the manga set behind me. Have the light novel set behind me. Absolutely love the anime despite the stuff that they cut out. I will defend it till the day I die. However, the one thing I cannot defend about Strange Fake at this point is the lack of content that they release along with this event. I don't think it's too much to ask for an animation update for a year 1 servant. Well, technically year 2 Enkidu, right? Year 1.5. It's not too much to ask for that. And this would have been the perfect time to do it. But they didn't do it. You know, people out here asking for buffs and all this other extravagant shit. I just want an animation update for a servant that's been here since the beginning. But they didn't do that. You know, some people want to see a new Gil. I want to see a new Gil. I want to see Flat. I want to see Aika. I want to see all these other characters. But that would have been spoilery territory. So I understand why they didn't do that. But that doesn't really justify not releasing Alexander Dumas or Pale Rider. Or assuming there's no second banner, no Alcides. There's no justifying not releasing them. There's none. Yeah, buff for Richard too. Like, if anyone's gonna get buff, Richard needs it. More than Enkidu and more than Gil. Oh, you got Francesco. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't know why they should have capitalized more. Like, this is why I said a couple weeks ago when it was first announced. I want to say I said this in the reaction video to like the last episode or two of Strange Fake when they initially announced the event. It was very weird timing. Because, okay, the Strange Fake event, that's hype, that's cool, I'm down for that. But I feel like it was too soon because they're shackled. Because they can't release anything from the light novel because that would spoil stuff for the anime viewers. Because the anime just premiered, the anime just ended. It was only season 1. There's still a season 2 in the horizon at some point. So they weren't going to release anything this early on that's like light novel relevant. Where anime only viewers did not see it or did not read it or were not aware of it. They weren't going to do that. So that's why, in my opinion, if it was up to me. Obviously, oh, this was a shit roll. If it was up to me, I would have done a Fate Strange Fake event after season 2. At the very least, I would have done a Strange Fake event after the light novel ends. The light novel ends this summer. If I'm not mistaken, Ryogo Narita, the official author of Fate Strange Fake, the author of the light novel, the author of Durara, Bakano, and all these other great works, is aiming to finish Strange Fake, the story, this coming summer, at some point in summer. So, why not release the event? If you want to release the event early, before the anime is even over, then okay, go do that. But wait until the light novel's at least done. For me, I would have done it a little bit later. A little bit later than that. Would have done it after season 2 is done. Whether season 2 comes out a year or 2 years from now. I know that's a lot of time, and a lot of us are impatient, as you know, we know. And as I've observed from a lot of Fate fans, you know, sometimes I'm impatient too. I get it. We want things right away. But if they wanted to play it safe, maybe it's just best to just save the event for later. Rather than to release it now and do bare bones. Because when you think about it, there wasn't really too much they could release without, you know, spoiling shit. Especially like a new Gil or like Flat and Ike and stuff. But at the same time, at least Dumas, there's really nothing to spoil for him. Like, he's pretty bare bones. He's a writer. Whatever he writes comes. He's able to make noble phantasms usable to humans. Like, it's like not that much to spoil with him. Same thing with Pale Rider. Same thing with Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is a huge, like, they dropped the ball on him. They're not gonna release him next week. Alcides, though, I think, and I'm praying to God that I'm right. I think he's coming out next week, but like, that's why I said I'm gonna hold my overall judgment until next week. But It's either gonna age horribly or it's gonna age really well. I think LCDs is coming out next week. I kind of lost hope on Jack just because there's no 4-star or 3-star in this banner. So if LCDs comes out next week, okay, I was about to say, if LCDs comes out next week, then most likely there's not gonna be another 4-star with him, and not a 3-star, of course. So I got Pentasilia. Okay, great. Your sister is coming. It's a welfare. Just came out, so good. Okay, another. Wow, 3 golds in this. That's cool. Lancer, who the living shit are you? Fion, come here. All right, yeah. Just come everywhere. Just come everywhere, dog. That is a it's a crazy roll. I got 3 servants not even rated up. But granted, there's no 4-star rated up, which was a mistake. They should at least put. Okay, I'm not even gonna. The more I talk about it, the more angry I get, to be honest. So just give me Francesca already so I can be happy again. So I can be somewhat happy. I can cope a little bit. Make me a little bit happy. Just give me Francesca, and then like I'll enjoy her for at least 2 days, 3 days, and then I'm gonna very, very much pray that. By the way, they haven't given me the 5-star CE, which is disrespectful as fuck. Yeah, Francesca being the first banner is surprising. Hippolyta being a welfare is surprising. You would think they would take advantage of like different ascensions for Hippolyta, take advantage of her design, and maximize as much profit from her, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that. But yeah. They could have at least buffed servants. No, see, the buffs, like, okay, besides buffing probably Richard, I don't think buffing Gil or Enkidu. Enkidu doesn't need it. And unless they were going to give Gil a Pierce Invincible or his own Invincible, or both, he doesn't really need a buff either. Like, no, I'm sorry, a Buster buff, okay, that helps with his damage, but he already hits hard anyway. Who gives a fuck? They weren't going to give him utility, it's like, whatever, don't give him a buff then. But like, at least an animation update, like, to me, that's bare minimum. Not even buffs, that's bare minimum. Kana was laughing for 5 minutes before he started because he was excited to announce one. Yeah, I know. I feel like he knew. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on him specifically. I'm getting everyone under the sun, but Francesca. JP bros get overhyped about anything that comes out. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think expecting an animation update for one of the faces of the game is like that out of the realm of possibility. I think that's pretty realistic, if you ask me. No Name Assassin, Jack the Ripper, Alexander Dumas. Like, come on. They could have done a Fate Strange Fake event that's spoiler friendly. They could have done more, but they didn't. And below 4,000 quartz. Still haven't gotten the 5-star CE, which is the only saving grace of this banner, aside from Francesca herself. They don't even want to give it to me. Come on. The 5-star CE, just at least the 5-star CE. I want to max limit break it. You know what? I'll keep actually, I don't know, because if there's a second banner and it has the same CEs, maybe I don't want to max limit break it this stream. Eber. Who are you? Well, I know who you are, but who are you? I don't know. I feel slightly. No, I think the overall opinion is it was disappointing. I saw some people that had that were happy when I asked type 1 if you were disappointed, type 5 if you weren't. I saw some people who were slightly happy, but I think the overall opinion is that they could have done more. I don't think there's really much else to say about that. They could have done a little bit more. Yeah, the 4-star spooks is kind of crazy. I mean, Francesca likes seeing chaos, so it's kind of lore accurate. Yeah, Gilded Aeon rate up, you know, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. You could have given him an animation update. Because he doesn't have an animation update, right? I don't use him ever. And I don't care enough to remember if he's ever had an animation update. He doesn't have one, I don't think. Okay, there you go. See, this is a nice CE. This is great. This is arguably the greatest thing that they released in this event so far. Aside from Francesca, who's gonna show up right now. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There you go. Alright, I'm happy to see you. But I'm not happy only to see you, if that makes sense. I'm happy to see you, but I'm not happy you're the only one I see. Granted, there's two of you, so I'm... Yeah, okay, whatever. What's up, Francesca? How you doing? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's the dog? How's the cat? How's the white picket fence? You know, all that good shit. Tell me you got some more plans, some more schemes. Are you gonna do all the talking, or are you gonna let Francois talk too? You gonna show me your stomach? Yeah, it does seem like a long ass intro. It's fine. Is it just me, or does Francesca have different clothes on her Ascension than in the anime? No, it's different. It is slightly different. It's more gray and white than it is straight up black, because it has more black in the anime. So the design is slightly different. Maybe it's changes with this. Well, it definitely changes with Ascension. I'm curious how they play. How you doing? How you doing, Francois? Yeah, how you doing? So we got the CE and Francesca slash... I'll just say Prelati at this point. We got the Prelatis. Okay, so we could change that shit. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, I like the sprite though. So I mean, let's be honest. Type 1 if you're keeping her, if you have her. Type 1 if you're keeping them as Francesca. Type 2 if you're keeping them as Francois. Everyone's typing 1. Ooh, invincible. NP damage up and some kind, or NP up and then some kind of damage bonus up. I don't know what that is. Arts NP. Does the NP change with... Oh, the NP changes. Okay, maybe that might change what I do. Maybe one of them is offense, the other one's support. Maybe one of them's AoE, the other one's not AoE or single target. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, I don't know exactly how they play. I'm gonna roll a little bit more because I do want to maximum break this, to be honest. And after seeing that, I kind of want to get more copies. I don't know what they do. And I'm sure you guys are already looking it up or already watching videos or other people's streams about it. Let me know what they do. And if it's better to keep them as Francesca or Francois from a gameplay standpoint. But let's keep rolling. Let's see if we can get more copies of the 5-star CE. Maybe more copies of them. But yeah. They are two different, so they're basically 2 in 1. I mean, I guess technically in a way they did release more than 2 servants, because if they're 2 in 1. Wait, the skills changed too? Oh, so they are okay. That definitely changes things for sure. I guess if you're getting 2 servants with the price of 1, I guess they technically release 3 servants if we want to, you know, be very, very technical and give them leeway. But that doesn't justify the fact that there's no no-name assassin, no Dumas, no Pale Rider, no Jack the Ripper, no Alcides, presumably. I think Alcides is coming out next week, but still. Whatever. Whatever, dog. If I remember correctly, the 2 and 3 skills are unique, and with skill 1 you can swap gender mid-battle. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. This is exactly like DBZ Dokkan's 11th Annie. Yeah. Two servants for the cost of 1. Silhouettes. Yeah, I saw the silhouettes. I saw Flat there, but like, he's not here. So like, what's going on there? Yeah, I thought the other silhouette looked like Alcides' master, but I was like, there's no way they would release him, right? Like that would be rad. I don't think anyone's clamoring for like, damn, I would love to roll for Alcides' master. Like, no shot, right? Imagine Alcides with just a third Noble Phantasm just seal NP forever. That would be insane. Yeah, they might just be NPCs. Straight up. Okay. We're just gonna keep going until we either get another copy of Francesca or the Prelades or Max Limit break the 5-star CE at this point. I would check out their Ascensions, but apparently third Ascension is locked with event, which I hate it when they do that, but sometimes it makes sense when they do it, like with Oberon, right? But most of the time I feel like it's just like not necessary. Like I remember when they did that with Typhon last year, it was like very unnecessary because you literally see her third Ascension with her NP regardless of whether you have her in first or second Ascension. So it was like, what's the point of hiding the Ascension at that point? Because it's like right there. But okay. Okay, well, NP2. NP2, okay. Okay! I'll take that, okay! I'll take that. Can you give me another 5-star CE though? Can you give me another 5-star CE though? Thank you! Okay, every time we get one, we get the other. So it's like, it's almost like it's soul linked, so... Wait, let me see. So the skills change with gender? No, it looks the same. Unless I gotta unlock it first before... Okay, well, I guess we'll find out, huh? Imagine they would have the money with LCDs. I think it's gonna happen. I think next week we just gotta be somewhat patient. Which I know is a lot to ask for from the FGO community, but just bear with it. Trust the process. I guess. Just trust the process. I got so many of the 4-star CE, I'm almost gonna vomit. Yeah, they did that with Tez as well, which is like unnecessary. Like hiding the Ascension. Wait, did I skip? Okay, I did. Okay, I mean, this is a nobody anyway. Okay, I mean, I like Chevalier actually. Fun fact, my very first gold servant ever. So, they have a special place in my heart. But not exactly someone I am hyped to see at this point in the game. Their second Ascension? Actually, yeah, let's look at their Ascension. After I get another copy of either the CE or them, I'll check their Ascensions. So the skills don't change? No, at this point I'm rolling for the CEs. Come on, give me the 5-star. Holy hell. Still kind of bold that they are gatekeeping Herc and his versions. Heard it's because of Strange Fake Author, which is all around bullshit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's hearsay at that point. I don't know. Cause I follow them on Twitter, and I don't remember them ever saying anything about like, or ever seeing a reputable source saying that they're gatekeeping. Okay, we got a third copy of that CE, that they're gatekeeping LCDs or other versions of Herc, but I guess you never know. Okay, 2 more copies of the 5-star CE, which again features Gil, Enkidu, Enkidu's Master, the Chimera. There you go, 1 more copy as well as Teenage Shock. Okay, so just 1 more copy now, and then I could maximum break it. I don't know if it's a good CE. It does only attack as far as stats, so like it has to be at least a little bit decent. Okay. Are they? I should do more research. Yeah, Yui Shosetsu is a real dude. Yori, I'm pretty sure, is a real dude. Like, Yui is like not a female in real life, by the way. If it wasn't obvious. Yui is a dude. How's the gacha luck so far? So far, 2 Francescas. We use about 500 quartz or something like that. Granted, I have over 4,000, or at least at the start I had over 4,000, so I'm not really like, you know, don't really care. I'm about to get my third Francesca right here. Come on, give me that third one. Give me that third one. Okay, Lobo. Okay, the wolf. Okay, not exactly Enkidu's master, but kind of fits. Kind of fits. Enkidu does have a summer CE where they're chilling with Lobo, so now I'll take that, I guess. But yeah, Gacha looks so far is pretty average. Not too crazy. Did get Francesca somewhat early on, but like not like, I wouldn't say insane luck. Although I will get a third one right here. The last one was just a joke. Enkidu? Just to add, okay, just to add more salt into the wound of no animation update for Enkidu. That would have been funny. There you go. We got the last copy of the CE. So there you go. Maximum break. I think it does overcharge from what it looks like, but we'll see. Okay. So I don't know if I'll roll more off camera or like in another stream, but I'm hoping, keyword there, hoping that there's going to be more to the Strange Fate collab event. That in a couple days or within the cutscenes themselves, they're going to show more characters that are going to be coming out. Maybe we even fight one of them or two of them or several more of them, more than just these two that we got. But let's go ahead and check out Francesca or Francois. The Perlates is little ascensions. Actually, let me NPT them real quick. And you guys could let me know as I'm ascending them if they're decent. I mean, I don't know how they are gameplay wise. I have so many Yagis, by the way. I gotta burn them. I forgot where I got them, to be fair. Let's go ahead and unlock one. Let's go. Boom. There you go. NP2. So there you go. Apparently has 2 NPs. Depending on the gender you choose, whether you choose Francesca or Francois. Yeah, Ascension 3 isn't locked? Oh, okay. Well, that's exciting. Let's go see how it looks like together as a class. Shall we? Let's see. So, I mean, the art is most likely going to be pretty good. I mean, I have 100% faith in the artist. The same artist as Ishtar. Same artist as Enkidu. Same artist as Karen. As well as just the artist of the Fate Strange Fate manga as well. So I have nothing but high expectations for the art and the ascensions. Ooh, they have the Clan Calatin outfit. That's kind of funny. I like the pigtails on Francesca too. I'll probably still keep them first ascension though. So far, we'll see that third ascension. Yeah, if they don't make them next week, then like it is what it is. Okay, second ascension. They got the police outfit on, and then she, I mean, she looks really nice within that ascension. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I ain't even gonna front, bro. I ain't even gonna front though. She looked nice. Yeah, Francesca looking dapper, looking really nice. All right, let's go get some of that. Yeah, let's get some of that. Yeah, it's a nice little cute outfit. I mean, I'm not blown away or anything so far, but again, the art's already baseline really good. Instead of giving us an actual Clan Calatin servant, they just, you know, give the outfit to Francesca. That's fine. So how old are they? Well, Francois / Francesca, they're probably several hundred years old, right? Both of them. As far as like biologically speaking, I don't know. But they are, yeah. I will take John Fate just to make this collab more interesting. Yeah, I don't know. They could have done so much, man. Oh, it's gonna eat away at me for the next week. And if they don't do more next week, then that sucks. Okay, let's see this third ascension. You said it's not locked? Oh, I gotta get a closer look. They get red eyes now? Okay. I gotta get a closer look, especially on Francesca. Sorry, Francois. Why is it showing him, by the way? Maybe I gotta change it. Kinda looks like Philia. Oh, it's the same artist, so I guess, you know, that makes sense. Oh, okay. Although, I think I still prefer her base outfit. I don't know, you guys tell me. You guys a fan? I think I like her base outfit more still. Oh, I see the mouth. I can see the mouth. It's closed, but I can see the mouth. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Type 1 if you prefer first ascension. Type 2 if second ascension is really nice, really cute. Third ascension, it's nice, but I still prefer the first, I think. Yeah, type 3 if you prefer the third. I think I still prefer the first. Second's the cutest probably, but the first one, I don't know, you can't beat that. Mention affiliate makes me wish we got. I know, dude. I know. Okay, final ascension, final art. Let's see if they ended off with a bang. If I change this, will it also change who shows up in the ascensions and shit? Okay, final ascension. Let's see. Okay, all right. Looking evil. I like the red eyes with the red background. Nice little contrast action. Okay. I mean, so like, it's hard for me to like be hyped, right? When I've been disappointed the entire time, you know. So I'm sorry if my reactions are lackluster, but you guys gotta understand. I was expecting at least an Enkidu animation update. But this does look nice. I do like the final ascension. In an alternate world where they gave us more, I probably would have been shitting my pants looking at this final ascension. It looks nice. Very different perspective than what we usually get with a lot of ascensions. But yeah, I guess I might as well playtest them, right? See what they're all about. I mean, I'm sure Atlas Academy already has everything updated. They're usually pretty quick when it comes to the skills and NP information. I hope in Collab Part 2 Zelda could have multiple Noble Phantasms. That'd be sick. That'd be sick, because lore-wise, they're supposed to be able to utilize a lot of the Zabanya. Still no on Atlas, by the way? Oh, okay. Well, just fuck me sideways then, huh? Just fuck me sideways. I guess we're just gonna have to use them. Although maybe Reddit has information. Let me check Reddit. Maybe Reddit's not gonna let me down. Okay, someone does have the skills up. Maybe. No, they don't. I don't know why they posted that. They don't even have it late, like there. Okay, fair. Let's go see the skills. So, NP charge, some kind of arts. Extra damage against something, we'll find out. I'm hoping there's some kind of pseudo support. Although another offensive caster I wouldn't be mad at either, because when you think about offensive casters, there's really, I mean, there is a decent amount, don't get me wrong, but especially, you know, we're 10 years into the game, there's definitely a good amount of offensive casters, but I wouldn't be mad if we got a little bit more. I feel like her being a welfare is cool in the sense that people don't gotta roll for her. I think that's definitely a bonus, but just having her locked into one ascension, assuming she doesn't have a costume from the event, is a little bit disappointing. Because part of the fun of, you know, getting a new servant is seeing their ascensions. You know, yeah, seeing their skills and how they work gameplay-wise is cool and all, but I think most of us arguably want to see some cool ascensions, and Hippo's base design is already really good, so it would have been cool to see more. Personally. Okay, I think we're gonna be able to 10 them. Were they AoE in the stream? I didn't pay attention too much. I think they were. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest, as well. I was just more surprised that we even got them as a 5-star. Yeah, we're gonna playtest them. I'm gonna playtest them, I guess, during the event. Might as well progress through the event. I also gotta, like, burn some CEs and stuff because I did use like 500, 600 quartz just then, so. They both did damage, if I recall. Yeah, but they both do something different based on the, description. Okay, let's go ahead and just max number break the 5-star CE, which I'm happy about. Alright, 5-star CE, let's go. As Gil, Enkidu, Tine, and the Wolf. So, I mean, this is... I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite thing from the event, which isn't saying a lot. Like, you know, everything else is somewhat mid or disappointing when your favorite thing from the event is the CE. I mean, this looks nice. This is the nuclear family right here. This is a really nice and wholesome CE. But as far as the actual content, all jokes aside, yeah, they could have done a whole lot more. And I'm trying my best to adjust my expectations accordingly, because I always do that. You know, it's very hard, arguably, for me to disappoint me, if it makes sense. This doesn't make sense. The bare minimum they did, it just doesn't make sense. My favorite thing in the event is the Philia CE. Well, there you go. Although, yeah, the 3-star CE is really cute too. I mean, you have Jack here, big chillin', drinking tea. Which, funny enough, in the light novel, Berserker Jack does actually take the form of Assassin Jack very briefly. And then Flat, if I'm not mistaken, does tell Jack to change forms because of how revealing this form of Jack is, and he doesn't want to get arrested for public indecency and having a little girl dressed the way Jack the Ripper does. And in the anime, that part is cut out, but if you rewatch the Jack the Ripper scene where he goes all out against Alcides, you do see the silhouette of Assassin Jack along with the other silhouettes, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool cameo. I thought Gil was Richard on the... I thought so too from far away. But I mean, given the context of teenage there, Enkidu and their masters there, I mean, that has to be Gil. Plus, you don't really see the red streaks on the hair. Yeah, I mean, the raids are nice. From a gameplay standpoint, I bet the event's gonna be fun, you know, and not saying anything about from the gameplay standpoint of the event. But content-wise, they could have done more. Yeah, Tiny Tine. Okay, let's go ahead and burn some CEs, because we did get a fuck ton. We gotta burn a good bit. We have that maximum broken. Yeah, sorry I gotta do this every time after a big gacha stream. It's just, you know, there's only so much inventory space, so I gotta burn some stuff. Okay, I think, okay, there's more here. There's a lot to burn. You know, the event is asked when my favorite thing is the 3-star CE. Oh, that sucks, man. I mean, at the same time, when you think about it, the Mahotsukai no Yoru event, for example, set the bar really high for future collab events. I mean, the story was good. They released 2 new 5-stars. The 4-star is good. I mean, they went all out. In comparison to this, they went all out in the Mahotsukai no Yoru event. So to go from that to this, it's jarring. I'm not gonna lie, it's jarring. Okay. Let's go ahead and put Francesca up for all the mongrels in my support to use. Sorry, Castigal, just for the event, I will put Francesca Prelati, Francois Prelati up. Might as well put these up as well. Yeah. I don't care what holds what. For anyone using my Tiamat, there you go. You get that as well, and I'll adjust things later accordingly. Yeah, it was underwhelming. It was. Let's just keep it a fat ass stack. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of the event because I will be play testing. Please don't play too much of this song because I don't want to get a copyright strike. It's a great song, but please stop playing it. Okay, I was about to say I'm not trying to get in trouble. If the stream gets taken down because of the music, then GG. Oh yeah, the Mahoyo event was, man, peak. One of the best events. And if I wouldn't even be mad if someone said it's the best event we've ever gotten in the history of FGO. Yeah, that also gives me like, it also adds doubt too that there's gonna be another banner with another 5-star because they showed Aoko in the Mohotsukai no Yoru event, and then right after her they showed Alice. So it's like, oh, we're gonna get Alice too, and then even though Alice didn't come out right when Aoko came out, she came out days later. Okay, we're in Camelot from what it looks like. See, now I think part 2 banner is just gonna be Richard. Let's think realistically based on what we've seen so far. Like, I would love LCDs to come out, but part 2 banner is probably gonna be Richard, and they might give him at least a buff, but I think that's all we're getting, folks. Let me go ahead. I'm bringing my Tiamat. Double Tiamat. Let's do double Tiamat Francesca. Don't say that, bro. Well, okay. Gilgamesh and Enkidu had a raid up in the pre-event, for the pre-campaign of the event. If we're gonna be realistic, and if we're gonna set our expectations to the lowest possible way, the lowest possible level, then I think the part 2 banner is literally just gonna be Richard. And if we set our expectations a little bit higher, he might get a buff. But I think he's gonna be the part 2 banner. And you might be like, oh well, maybe a 4-star is gonna join him. That's not gonna happen because there's no 4-star with Francesca. So that would be kind of a kick to the balls if they put a new 4-star with Richard, but not a new that same 4-star with Francesca or the Prelatis. But again, I could be wrong. Yeah, no new Mystic Code, although I don't know what they would do with a Mystic Code. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I don't really care about new Mystic Code at this point. Am I bonding with you? No, I'm not bonding with you. I think I'm bonding with Asterios. Oh no, I'm bonding with Paul Bunyan. Okay, let's go test out the new one. The new Prelati servant. 5-star caster. You know, at an onsen, you're supposed to take off body clothes, so that was the only downside to the Mahoyo event scene. That's crazy. But I see you. Okay. Now, I don't know what Prelati does. I guess we'll find out. Okay, first skill is some kind of protection. Okay, I assume this changes gender, maybe? That's what someone said. Okay, protects the team. Let's see. For 1 turn, okay, so protection for everybody and some kind of time debuff. Probably stun or something like that, I guess. So that's a good skill. Just off rip. Protection for the entire team. For 1 turn. I'm not gonna complain about that, obviously. Second skill. Ooh. Was that a 30% on everybody? I think that was a 30% on everybody. That's pretty good. And art's up. So 30% NP on everybody. And an art's up. Okay, so third skill now, what does that look like? And art's up and then some kind of damage up. So that's literally it. Nothing else. Nothing too fancy. Okay, so far third skill seems to be like the most bare bones. Okay, interesting that they have two skills that both give arts up. You would think they would just put one arts up with a higher percentage, but like whatever, I guess. It is what it is. I guess same effect. Okay, let's go ahead and just do our usual Tiamat strat, I suppose. Might as well. The good thing about being an art servant is at least the Prelades synergize well with Tiamat, so there you go. Yeah, 30% to everybody is pretty good. I wouldn't even say decent, that's pretty damn good. I mean, Tiamat does the same thing. So with double Tiamat and the Prelades, you're getting 90% across the board. So everyone's guaranteed to get their NP. So I'm not even mad at that. Guaranteed to get their NP as long as you have second pen, of course, unlocked, but you know. Okay, has the curtsy playing from in the background from the anime. Oh, is this just straight debuffs? Oh, not even damage. Okay, probably shouldn't have overcommitted just then. Okay, so skill seal and stun. Interesting. That's interesting because I feel like stun is good enough. Like skill seal is like whatever. Like if the enemy gets stunned anyway, then skill seal is just kind of like whatever at that point. I mean, I guess like it's a double layer just in case if one doesn't proc, the other one procs. I guess that's cool. I guess. Okay, so just debuffs on the male version. So the male version is just pure debuffs. How do I change to female? Like, I mean, I already used all the skills. I guess with the first skill, I could have chose the third option. Maybe that changes gender. Okay, so interesting. I mean, so far I'm not like going crazy, but they are a semi-support, or I guess in the male base form seems to be a servant that's somewhat support with some debuff capabilities. Let's see. Let's do a full combo. Let's do a full combo. I had no idea Summer Tiamon was such a good goated support. See, like, it's a shame that kind of implies that every other, like, FGO motherfucker is not, like, glazing her as hard. Like, she's really good. She's amazing. Okay, NP game's really good on base form, with no other buffs. Although there are debuffs on the enemy, so I guess, you know. If I cope harder, then Francesca does start to look like Philia. If you cope really hard, Karen kind of looks like Francesca too. Or not Francesca, like Philia. I guess both of them. Okay, this is the full combo, Tiamat. There's one more battle after this. In my opinion, Kalia Boys was better than this. Damn. That's fucked. That's fucked. Yeah, only debuffs is interesting. I feel like damage would have been nice, plus the debuffs. Because I feel like historically, servants whose NP only does debuffs, generally speaking, aren't the best. Like, Steno being the most infamous. But I mean, there's also Waver, whose skills make up for that. Like, his NP is okay, but like, the reason people use him is mainly for his NP, arguably. Or not his NP, his skills. I see people mentioning female form can loop. Okay, so we gotta playtest her as female. So if you want to play the debuff route, which I feel like most of the time you're probably not gonna do, unless it's like a very tricky quest with a ton of gimmicks, then maybe playing the debuff route, like a stall team of some description, might be the better play. But in terms of farming, again, it's cool to have that option, right? I mean, I'm not... Well, wait, can we change with this? Okay, so this is how you change. It's the third option in the first skill. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So here she's transformed. Let's go ahead and just use our NP. So I assume she's AoE then. I mean, we're only fighting one enemy. I mean, it's a nice NP. Let's keep it a fat stack. I didn't catch what kind of buffs. Is it buff removal resistance again? Which is cool. I mean, again, synergizes really well with team out. Adding more buff removal resistance is definitely alright. I'm not gonna complain about that. Like, that's amazing. Okay, let's play test her properly then. Let's keep her as a her. No offense to my Francois fans, but it seems like the best way to play the Perlates as a traditional Fate Grand Order player in traditional quests is to use the Prelati as the female version. Atlas still doesn't have the skills up. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, so let's just don't we just have to do that and then it's all automatically changed for us, or do we have to manually change that all the time in the quest itself? Guess we'll find out. Prattling with the Prelatis. You know, it sounds like a sitcom. There's a chance we might have to keep changing them to her. Yeah, it looks like we have to. So I guess no matter what, they will always start off as a male, but you can always just change it automatically with the first skill. So it's not the biggest inconvenience, but yeah. So there you go. So Snake Mommy is kind of just there as an additional support, not really necessary. These are new types of enemies, by the way. That's cool. And it is playing the anime OC, so I'm scared that this is gonna be one of those events that's gonna be impossible to stream with the music on. You know what? I'm gonna play it safe because I ain't trying to get in trouble, Doug. I'm gonna put the music all the way down like that. I'm still gonna be able to hear it, but I ain't trying to get in trouble because that's Hiroki Sayano music. You already know that that shit's copyrighted to all hell and back. Maybe they have a special damage bonus for how much debuffs enemies have. Maybe. I mean, I don't know the gimmicks for sure. Okay, so with 6 enemies out there, we're definitely gonna be able to loot, no problem. The mouth on the stomach area is still crazy. Okay, what are you about to do? Okay, little bitch damage. Are they all gonna do that? Am I gonna watch this animation for all the enemies? Brother! They couldn't have speed that up? Tell me they're not gonna be a recurring enemy throughout the event, because the fuck is that? Okay. Alright. Alright. Alright, okay. What is that? Like, I get it, there's probably a lore story reason they do that, but like, we don't gotta see it that many times. Okay, so it is a debuff resistance and buff from... Wow, okay. From a gameplay standpoint, honestly, if you synergize really well with Tiamat, you're automatically goated. And so far, from what it looks like, the Perlatis are amazing with Tiamat. Yeah, and just when you thought you haven't suffered enough, like that's too much, man. Come on. Well, I can confidently say, at least from a gameplay standpoint, the Prelatis are pretty good, from what it looks like. Maybe not top tier. I wouldn't go that crazy. I don't know the numbers, exact numbers yet. But again, if you could synergize well with Tiamat, then automatically you are good in my book. JP Twitter already figured out the silhouette in the story teaser is the same as the one servant that was supposed to release last year but didn't. Oh, really? Interesting. Wait. So we were supposed to get that servant like late last year, but they delayed it for the Strange Fake event? So does that kind of implies the strange fake event was supposed to happen late last year then? That's what that kind of implies. Either that or that character is only going to appear in the cutscenes and isn't really going to come out as a playable character until maybe in a separate event later in the year. I don't know. But that's interesting. Definitely got to roll in NA in 2028. Yeah, they seem good. I mean, 30% to everybody. Art's up to everybody. Buff removal resistance to everybody with NP, along with some kind of debuff immunity. I mean, with double Tiamat, that pretty much guarantees you're not going to get debuff. You're not going to get your buffs removed, which is always a welcome thing. Okay, now they're just straight up playing the music. They're just straight up playing the courtesy, bro. Just straight up. Okay, are we going to see any other previews of any other characters besides the usual squad? Okay, so it's just these two. Okay, yeah, that's... Oh, okay. Who was that? It's no one we know of in Strange Fake. Who is that? Okay, honestly, I'm kind of excited now. 'Cause who could that be? It can't be Alcides. At least I don't think so. Yeah, I figured that was the one I was supposed to release last year, but who is that? Yeah, I saw Castigo. No, not Flat, the other one. It was like a big armored fuck. Okay, is there hope? Is there hope at the end of the tunnel? Is there still something to look forward to next week? Maybe. Some big armored fucker. Is it Aggravating is the one everyone wants? No, I'm kidding. Okay, we get 10 EXP and there's Hippo. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah. In any other situation, I'd be excited to see you, but in a situation where I didn't get Enkidu animation update or other servants in addition to you guys, yeah. Dumas would not be wearing that whole ass armor. No shot. Yeah, I know No Name Assassin I know is in the event. But like, I would like her to be playable though. Okay, how are you doing? How are you doing, Francesca? It's a mission event. Okay, the usual stuff. Okay, I mean, I'll have fun playing this event for sure. I mean, it's gonna be a fun event, I think, but like, again, in terms of just the characters we got, expecting more. And just to really make sure, because no one said anything in chat, I feel like somebody would have said something. No animation update. Yep, sprite still looks the same. Let's go check the strengthening quest, because I know somebody was asking for that earlier. No, nobody knew. I still need to do Drake's. So, no new buffs, no new animation updates. Just 2 new servants, technically 3 if you want to consider the Prelades 2 separate servants, since they technically are 2 in 1. But that's it. In a couple days, maybe next week, I'm hoping they're saving the big guns for part 2 banner. Historically speaking, not all the time, and certainly not for the Mahotsukai no Yoru event, depending on your taste. But historically speaking, the part 2 banners, sometimes the part 3 banners, are better than the first banner. The first banner is just like an appetizer. Second and the third one is usually when they go balls deep and release something insane. But if we assume everything that we got is all we're gonna get, and next week is just gonna be Richard with a buff, I assume, and that armored fucker is maybe just an NPC and we won't see them until maybe another event or something. The silhouette guy kind of looks like Karna. The color scheme is very similar. I doubt they're gonna release another Karna. That would be weird. When is your next stream, MC? I have no idea. I mean, next guaranteed is anniversary for NA. But the next stream in the foreseeable future, within the next month or so, I don't know. I mean, if they do release a new servant, maybe. But there's no way. It's probably Adult Avenger Gacha. Yeah, no shot. But yeah. I mean, I got my NP2 Francesca. So, can't complain from a luck standpoint. I'm pretty happy with that. Where are they? They'll become playable until the next main story chapter outside the event, perhaps. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Because the next chapter is next month, right? The next story chapter is either next month or the month after. I don't remember when they were scheduling it. The next chapter, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna keep them again. Probably first Ascension. That's what I'm used to, and that's what I like. But I'll probably play around with the other Ascensions. I do like the second Ascension. It's very cute. But there you go. The Prelades as well as Hippo. Oh, it's June? Okay, so like 2 months. Maybe Richard's half brother. I don't know. At this point, at least give us something else. In addition to this. Because again, I'm not saying the Prelades and Hippo are disappointing. They're just disappointing by themselves. Like, them as characters are hype and I like them. But if it's just them, then they are disappointing. If it's just them. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next stream, whenever that'll be. I will upload the gacha portion and my reaction as a separate video. Thank you guys for hanging out. Congratulations to everybody who got Francesca. I keep saying Francesca, but it's basically both of them. And good luck to everybody else who's rolling, and good luck to everybody else in the future who's gonna be trying for, I'm coping here, but trying for LCDs in a couple days. If you're gonna be rolling for LCDs, I hope the copium is gonna come true. And if not, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be like that. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. And don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Yeet.